Yes, Coach Kreiner, he prides himself on having a winning ball club. He's won the World Bowl Championship one time, and he was trying to win his second championship this year. He thought he had a ball club that could do that, and they did not reach those expectations.
And as for Al Luginbill, well, he took his team to the World Bowl in '95, has yet to win it, but no team has won more NFL Europe games since 1995 than this motivating man.
He is a motivator, but one thing he's disappointed this season is his ability to motivate the players. Now, he knew going into the season that his players did not have the ability of some of the players that he's had in the past, but he still thought that they would be able to fight for the championship.
And we are underway. Rob Hart has kicked it off. And David Thompson will return it to the 31-yard line. So Jim Kubiak, formerly of the Navy, is now the skipper for the Admirals. A good nautical theme there. And he's come on twice in relief of Dan Gonzalez and thrown 4 touchdown passes. And Al Luginbill just says, this guy's got something that the team likes. A couple of touchdowns last week against the Scottish Claymores. The Claymores defense that is weak against the pass, but they go on the ground initially. David Thompson will blast his way up the middle for 6. Matt Finkish with the stop. The offensive line for Amsterdam features Terrell Levake, Fricky Kubik, and David Mudge. David Thompson gets the start in the backfield. Douglas Kidd and McWashington are the wideouts. Corey Geeson is at tight end. 2nd down and 4. The pitch back once again to Thompson, who is healthy again after a series of injuries, and a flag comes in late. Shatoni Sargent with the stop, and face mask may well be the call from Jeff Triplett here. And there it is, against the Claymores. The defensive line of the Scottish Claymores featuring, as I mentioned there, Shatoni Sargent, Jermaine Bonneau, the Englishman, and inside Emil Palmer and Brad Keeney. The linebackers, Alan Campos, the former Cowboy, Matt Finkish, and Terry Rice-Lockett from the Chiefs. And in the secondary, Ellams and Schamberger on the corners. Lee Wiggins and Steve Rosger are the safety men. So an early flag there as well, Chris. There were a lot of flags last week when these two teams met.
Well, I hope we don't see as many flags in this week's ball game as we saw in last week's game.
The ball is at the 46-yard line of the Amsterdam Admirals. After the penalty, Kubiak feels some pressure, dumps it off to Thompson. And Thompson stays on his feet before Steve Rosger wraps him up after a gain of 5. Well, I mentioned David Thompson. He's been playing hurt all year. Joe Asker has been playing hurt as well. And it really has been a tough season for both of those players in the backfield.
Yes, for the Admirals, they wish they had one back that was healthy throughout the course of the season. They feel as if their running game could have been far more productive.
2nd down and 5. Thompson again. Works his blockers, gets hit by Lee Wiggins coming up from safety, but may just about have done enough to pick up the 1st down. Brad Keeney eventually on the stop, but Thompson has come out fast today. He now checks out, and Joe Asker, number 35, checks into the lineup. And I wondered if they were going to call for the measurements, but they haven't. They've decided it's a 1st down at the 44-yard line of the Scottish Claymores. Asker now in the lineup. Frank Temming, the Dutchman, lines up wide left with Sean McWashington in the slot. They give it to Asker, the former Raider, and Asker just blasts his way up the middle for 6 yards. Steve Rosger coming in and making the stop.
What we have here, we have the offensive line firing off the ball well. And anytime you start a ball game, you want to start initially with running the ball. Give the offensive line a chance to come off the football. Give the running back, give Asker a chance to get his pads lowered and get into the secondary and bang into some of those linebackers, hoping he finds a defensive back.
Impressive drive early here from Amsterdam. And Kubiak, with a lot of time, goes downtown for James Kidd, and Kidd can't get it. He got behind DeNorse Mosley, but Kubiak overthrew him.
You can see James Kidd right here on your screen. This play is made by a fast release. The guy has a tremendous amount of speed. He just runs by the defender, which sometimes you have to do. If Kubiak makes a better throw, the Admirals are on the board 6-0.
Instead, it's 3rd down and 4. And trips to the right this time for Kubiak on 3rd down, and he's found a man once again at the 30-yard line. Joe Douglas hangs on. Cliff Ivory was there with the tackle. Douglas, a tough little scrappy receiver who doesn't drop too many, and that was a clutch reception there.
Ever dependable Joe Douglas. This is what you want from a third receiver. He's going to come in and sit down in the zone right at the chains, be able to get the first down and move the ball down inside the 30-yard line. Great drive for the Admirals to start the ball game.
Well, they list Joe Douglas at 5'11", but he doesn't look much more like 5'9" to me. But a big heart. Here is David Thompson again, brought down from behind by Terry Rice Lockett after a pickup of 5 yards, and they've certainly established a running game here on this opening drive, the Admirals.
Yes, Frickle and the offensive line right now are coming off the ball, and they're blowing the defensive linemen, which are giving the running backs creases where they can get the ball in second and short, third and short, so to keep the drives going.
Second down. Play action. Kubiak feels the pressure from Rice Lockett, and it's incomplete. Steve Rosger was there to break it up. They were looking for the tight end, Corey Geeson. And that's going to bring up third down, and the receivers check in.
Rosger makes a great play here. Right here, he is beat by the tight end, Geeson, but you'll see he has recovery speed and is able to knock down the ball instead of playing the receiver like a lot of defensive backs do. He plays the football and knocks the ball down. A big play inside the red zone.
Third down. Shelley, Kidd, and Douglas all check into the lineup. 4 wide receivers in. Kubiak, a slight stumble and looking in the direction of Douglas, and it's picked off. Cliff Schamberger just working in front of Douglas. So the Scottish Claymores defensively hold firm, and the man who was traded here from the Berlin Thunder comes up with the game's first big play.
And this is not what you want to start a ball game. You're down inside the red zone. Kubiak's looking down the field, but as you see his eye placement, he's looking to the right. Schamberger makes a great play by positioning himself and keeping himself in between himself and the receiver and the ball, and is able to make the big interception in the end zone.
So that will send the explosive Damien Craig out onto the field. Craig, who needs 329 yards and 4 touchdowns tonight to break David Archer's single-season records, which were set back in 1992 for the Sacramento Surge.
Has had a tremendous season, and wants to finish the season strong. And one thing you can see in him.
Ball placed at the 2-yard line, 1st and 10.
And that's a bad break right there for the Claymores.
Well, it is a bad break, but what you want now, you want position of the football. They'll take the interception as long as they have position. They're able to keep the Admirals off the scoring board. Now they have the opportunity to draw first blood and score. Damien Craig, great leader on the football field. And you can see it in the practice. You can see it in the meetings.
And impressive numbers. Cooper wide left. Sellers wide right. Murphy is the slot receiver. And Craig rolls and looks to buy himself some time, and now takes off. Doesn't get an awful lot before Myron Newson trips him up. The offensive line of the Scottish Claymores, featuring Barry Stokes and Barry Sims at the tackles, Dyson and Hernandez the guards, and dependable Emmett Zitelli at center. Jesse Haynes and Jamie Reeder in the backfield. Murphy and Sellers the wideouts, and Sean Bell is the tight end. Pickup of 4 on the scramble from Damien Craig. Brings up a 2nd down and 6, and the noise level rises here in the arena, and a timeout is called by Damien Craig. I was out there for the warm-ups, pre-game warm-ups, Chris, and I know you were, and this crowd was just deafening even then.
It is. I wish they had a full house so I'd be able to see how much noise they made. It kind of reminds me of the Metrodome a little bit, but I'm standing on the field before the game. As you mentioned, the crowd noise, but I also could feel the field shaking.
Yeah, it's quite eerie. It's almost like an earthquake going on, and I'm sure that's the reason that Damien Craig has taken this time out to go and just literally talk. The roof open in the arena, by the way. If you've been here before, you'll know that they can either open the roof or close it depending on the weather. And interestingly, for all 5 home games, it's been open this year. Last year, I think I'm right in saying, it was shut all 5 games.
See, this is the type of stadium the great fans in Minnesota need, where sometimes we get good weather, but the winters are awful long.
When you get good weather? August?
We have a very brief summer.
2nd down and 6. Sellers is the motion man. Craig with protection, looks for Sellers, and it's batted away by Clyde Johnson. The defensive front for Amsterdam features big John Kirksey, all 370 pounds of him, as we see Johnson celebrating. Keith Council, Troy Bailey, the former Claymore, inside along with Kirksey. Shane Doyle is dangerous from the outside. They'll play a nickel package, which means Myron Newsom and Masafumi Kawaguchi, the Japanese player, will start at linebacker, and it means Jackson and Johnson are on the corners, Williams and Malvo at safety, and Marcel Willis, the nickelback, who's on there pretty much the whole time. 3rd down and 6. Movement at the line of scrimmage. Everybody points in the direction of Barry Stokes, the left tackle, who seemed to flinch, and we have flags on the field. And we'll hear from Jeff Triplett again.
False start. Number 67 to the offense. Half the distance to the goal. Remains 3rd down.
That is Barry Stokes. Penalties. Problems again for the Scottish Claymores. They've had problems all year long.
We don't want to hear from Mr. Triplett much today.
Oh, that's 3 times already, I think, isn't it?
And that is enough.
So after the half the distance call, it's 3rd and 9. Craig throws out of his own end zone, and there's a lot of work here for Scott Cooper to do, and that's a great gutsy effort from the veteran Scotsman. Eventually stopped by Troy Bailey, but Cooper knew where the 1st down marker was and got there, and this guy has never let this team down.
Cooper's outside receiver here on the screen. What he's going to run is a little choice route. The defense is soft, so normally the receiver's going to sit, but right here he shows the ability to be able to run after the football, run with the football after the catch. And without the run after the catch, he does not pick up that 1st down.
But he does, and Cooper keeps the drive alive, and Jesse Haynes will look to try and get something working here, and will pick up positive yardage. 6 yards before he's pushed out of bounds by Kelly Malvo coming up from safety. 2nd down and 4. And Haynes from the Kansas City Chiefs, he's been productive in patches for the Claymores, which is pretty much what you can say about the team overall. Sometimes they've looked the best team in the league. Other times, you know, they really look like they're in a different league altogether.
Also, after talking to Thomas Coleman, the running back coach, he wants to see if Mr. Haynes can carry the ball 20 times, even though they're a passing team.
Cooper and Haynes, the wideouts. Craig throwing incomplete, looking in the direction of Sean Bell, who tangled up with Lee Vaughan, but there are no flags. That'll bring up 3rd down and 4.
The left side of the screen, you're going to see the left tackle. He's going to get a quick set and get his hands on his man. He takes a good job giving Craig a lot of time in the pocket, but the left guard, the pressure is able to make him throw the ball quick. He needs time to throw the ball in this offense. Some of the routes they run down the field, they take a long time. But in last week's game, the Admirals' defensive front definitely dominated the line of scrimmage.
And another timeout taken by Damien Craig. So we too will take a timeout. We'll be back in Amsterdam in just a moment.
Amsterdam 0, Scotland 0. Damien Craig wants to change that score in a hurry. He wants to get on the scoreboard first. After talking to him in warm-ups, he wanted to get off to a fast start, realizing the last 3 games he has struggled. But also in those 3 games where he's thrown the 7 interceptions, his team has given up 99 points defensively.
4 wide receivers come out on 3rd down. They went to Scott Cooper on their last 3rd down. Where will Craig go this time? He goes the other way, he looks for Michael Jenkins, and Jenkins can't get it. The heat came from Kelly Malvo. It's broken up. And so Chris Dolan and the punting unit will come on. And Chris Dolan has had a superb season for the Scottish Claymores.
After watching him in warm-up, I mean, he's very impressive.
The ball just hung in the air. It seemed forever, didn't it?
Routinely kicking the ball 60, 65 yards. Almost hit me a couple times.
No, we can't have that. Mind you, Joe Douglas is waiting, and Douglas averaging 11.5 yards per return. He can be deadly as well. Let's see what Dolan can do. It's not one of his better kicks. And Douglas will field at the 44 and can run. And beats one man and gets it into Scotland territory to the 46-yard line. Well, there are some rule differentials in the NFL Europe League. I'm sure if you're a veteran, you're familiar with them. The key one's really the 4-point field goal and the 35-second play clock.
I enjoy the rule changes, but this rule here, the 35-second play clock, has a tremendous impact on the game. As you can see that Scotland has already burned 2 timeouts. And when you get into a 2-minute drive, you need all your timeouts. And I don't think they have the continuity to be able to play with the 35-second clock.
So the Admirals on the move once again. David Thompson certainly on the move, scooting away from tacklers, picking up first down yardage and more, getting out to the outside before Denorce Mosley pushed him out of bounds. But you can give 21 more yards to David Thompson on that one. And he showed a clean pair of heels to Brad Keeney at the line of scrimmage and then was gone.
Anytime you see a running back get a large gain, there's normally a good offensive line blocking on a defensive lineman, but down the field, there's normally a receiver blocking. As you see Kidd right here, getting a piece of the defender to get him an extra 10 yards.
This time, Keeney wraps up Thompson for no gain. In fact, he'll lose a yard. So the big Scotland defensive tackle gets a measure of revenge. Player of the year last year. Formerly with the Atlanta Falcons, played his college ball for the Citadel and was on the Jets practice squad 2 or 3 years ago as well. And one of those guys that always comes to play.
He is. College ball at the Citadel, and he is a worker. Every day he comes to work, not only practice, but every ball game.
Second and long for Kubiak. Kubiak looked in the direction of James Kidd again, and Kidd was working Denorce Mosley, and that was batted up in the air and away, and that will bring up 3rd down and 11.
This is a big play coming up because they're inside the red zone, but you have a 3rd and 10. What you don't want to do as a quarterback, and a lot of young quarterbacks are doing it, where you don't want to take a sack and you don't want to throw an interception. At worst case scenario, you want to give your field goal unit an opportunity to kick the field goal to get on the scoreboard first.
3 wide receivers to the right on 3rd and long. They go the other way, and a wide open James Kidd burned. Denorce Mosley, touchdown, Admirals.
As you can see, they're going to be in a 2-deep or a safety zone defense right here. Kidd is going to get a good release off the line of scrimmage, but fans are probably wondering, why is he wide open? Because Wiggins, the safety, is supposed to come over and help him, and he doesn't. That's a blown coverage, and that's an easy touchdown for the Admirals.
One of the easiest you'll ever get. James Kidd, his 2nd touchdown of the year, and Silvio Diliberto, who's had a tough campaign, doesn't make this one. He's had a bad year, Silvio. That's his 3rd missed PAT.
Now, he's one guy. He cannot wait for the season to be over with.
But nevertheless, it's the Admirals on the board first. Kubiak to Kidd. They lead 6-0.
Scotland 0, Amsterdam 6. And the reason why Amsterdam has 6 is Lee Wiggins is playing safety here. But he's supposed to be helping the cornerback on the right-hand side and gives Kubiak an easy throw to his receiver in the outside lane. In the last week of the season, some of the players are just not paying attention to details. They're concentrating on flying back to the States, and sometimes you're going to have blown assignments in a game like this.
Well, there's been blown assignments in the Scotland secondary all season long. Francesco Biancamono kicks a short kick that is fielded by Murphy, who can't do a lot with it. Well, somehow managed to stay on his feet and squirt forward to the 27-yard line. Almost broke it then. Well, I talked about the Claymores and their defensive problems. They've given up 27 touchdowns through the air in 10 games.
And you see, giving up all these touchdowns through the air has had a dramatic effect on Damian Craig. I think some of the national publicity that he received also had an effect on him. But when you're playing on a defense that's giving up that many points through the air, you feel the pressure on you as a quarterback to move your offense and score points.
The Claymores, over the last 5 games, they've given up an average of 34 points per game. It really does put the pressure on the offense. The 2-back formation and the pitch back to Haynes. A flag comes in. Haynes gets next to nothing. And we're going to have to check on the flag. That goes against the Scottish Claymores. Now Luganville says we don't want it.
Illegal motion. Number 44 of the offense. Moving forward at the snap. That penalty is declined. 2nd down.
It's Jamie Reeder, the fullback. So 2nd down and 10. Scotland's offense not quite clicking at the moment. Murphy lines up wide right. Sellers to the left. Jenkins is the slot receiver. And Craig, with a lot of time, looks for Sellers and gets him, and that'll be 16 yards to Ray Sellers, working Ray Jackson. First down, Scotland.
Now, Damien Craig has a great ability, has great poise. He's not like a lot of the athletic quarterbacks where as soon as he doesn't see a receiver down the field, he's going to run the football. But he's got a great arm, got great arm strength. He can make a lot of the throws that the guys that are playing on Sunday in the National Football League are making.
First down, back on the ground, Jesse Haynes. Not much. Strung out all the way, maybe a yard. Marcel Willis, the nickelback, coming up and eventually making the stop, but Lewis Adams was there as well. And that'll bring up second down and 10. Yeah, you talk about Damien Craig, and a lot of people in Great Britain, they saw that 611 yards receiving or throwing in Frankfurt in week 6, and they think, well, this is a guy that's going to go back into the NFL, but it's not as simple as that, is it?
Well, it's not as simple as that, but his stock has risen, given his ability to complete passes, lead the team. He did not get many reps this fall as a quarterback.
Second down, draw play. Haynes lowers his head, gets to midfield, will pick up 6. Lewis Adams on the stop. Third down and 4.
Now, third down is an area where he has struggled somewhat the last 3 games. He's tried to force the ball, had a lot of turnovers, has fumbled the ball a couple of times, and has been sacked a number of times. This is a down where people are really going to evaluate him to see, as a quarterback, can he make the right decisions and make the plays to continue to move the chains? They know he has great ability, but can he make the simple plays?
The 4 wide receiver package for Scotland. Craig feels some pressure and has a lot of work to do. Now he'll take off, and this is where it can be dangerous, and he's slowed but not stopped, and now he's stopped. Keith Council will drop him for a 4-yard loss. Nowhere to go for Damien Craig. He didn't have an open receiver.
Nowhere to go, but you see here they have a linebacker walk down the receiver, and they have a defensive back out wide. This is what you call a soft defense. Sometimes you don't need a great pass rush, you just need great coverage down the field. And they're able to do this to stop Damien Craig from throwing the ball, converting the third down.
Joe Douglas waits at his own 10-yard line. Chris Dolan, who didn't kick too well last time. Not one of his better ones again, although it takes a good hop, and Douglas hangs near it, and that's a much better kick. All the way to the 7-yard line. He got a good bounce. Now, the World Bowl scenario, as I mentioned earlier, if the Rhein Fire win, they put pressure on Barcelona. They're up by 3 in their game against Berlin. Remember, if the Fire win that game, Barcelona must win tomorrow against Frankfurt to qualify. And then, as you can see, sorry, I said Rhein are down 3. It's an early Berlin field goal.
There's nothing more that Ryan would like than to play a game in the World Bowl, a home game. It'd be a great opportunity for them, but a lot of things need to happen. They need to take care of their business and beat Berlin, and that would solve half the equation.
A lot of people think the Rhein Fire are the best team in the league. How ironic it would be if they don't go to the show. First down. On the ground they go. And a pickup of 3 or 4 for David Thompson. Lee Wiggins coming up. Alan Campos with the assist. And they'll give Thompson 4 yards there. The man from the St. Louis Rams was a specialist kickoff returner for the Rams a couple of years ago.
He can do a lot of things for a ball club.
Second down. Thompson once again runs into trouble, picks up a couple. Terry Rice-Lockett and Matt Finkis, the linebackers, converging to the stop. Yeah, you say he can do a lot. And if a fully fit David Thompson can get into a camp somewhere, he's going to make an impact.
Yeah, it's going to give him an opportunity not only to run the football, but his coaches want to see if he can run the ball inside. They realize he has great speed and can catch the ball, but can he run the ball between the tackles?
Well, that's what the Rams will want to know. And Jim Kubiak runs for the first down marker and gets it. Terry Rice-Lockett coming up on the stop. And Jim Kubiak, a man also looking for a job with the Indianapolis Colts. He's obviously not going to be the starter there, not with Peyton Manning around, but there's certainly a hole there for him possibly.
As he drops back into the pocket, sometimes there's not going to be a receiver open downfield. And Kubiak's not known for his athletic ability, but you have to be able to run just enough to be able to make the play, and he has to get a better slide in there or he's going to get hurt.
Joe Asker runs into Alan Campos. We'll get a couple, that's it. Anytime you see a guy going one-on-one with Alan Campos, you don't really think he's going to go too far, and that's exactly what happened to Joe Asker there. Campos still plays with so much fire and passion, doesn't he?
Oh, yes, he destroys the lead blocker and still comes in to make the tackle on Asker, and not many people are going to tackle him one-on-one.
Draft choice of the Dallas Cowboys back in '96 and played a couple of seasons with them. Second down and long for Amsterdam. Kubiak throws to the big tight end, Corey Geeson, who tries to play tiptoe up the sideline. Joey Ellams missed the tackle and allowed Geeson to get a couple more yards. He's impressed me this season, Corey Geeson. He leads all tight ends with receptions, but I like his attitude as well.
I enjoyed meeting with him yesterday. He seems like a young man, has his head on his shoulders straight. He wants to improve as a football player. He realized there's certain things that he doesn't do well. He's enjoyed his stay here in Europe, and is also looking that if he doesn't make a camp, he's willing to come back next year and continue to work at his job.
Third and short. Frank Temming lines up wide left, and we've got all kinds of stuff going on at the line of scrimmage. Derek LeVake, number 74, certainly went walkabout.
Prior to the snap, number 74, false start of the offense. 5-yard penalty, remains third down.
I think that play was going to the right.
I think you could be right.
We have him here on the line of scrimmage. You see, sometimes those offensive linemen, they just get a little excited in between getting the play in the huddle and getting to the line of scrimmage. Sometimes they forget.
Got to wait for the ball. So a 3rd and 1 becomes an awkward 3rd and 6. And a different formation. 4 wide receivers in and nothing to it. Somehow a great reaction as a flag comes in. Fred Pollock just covered the ball up after it was batted up in the air after Corey Geeson made contact with it, but a flag came in there, and Geeson is saying there was contact with him.
There was a lot of contact. Anytime you run a route inside the tackles on the line of scrimmage, they're going to hold you for the most part. Geeson's right here matched up against Lockett, the linebacker. He likes that matchup because he feels like he can outrun him. Runs inside, slant move. Oh, there's a little hold in there.
And smarts from Fred Pollock to cover the ball up. What's a backup offensive guard doing with hands like that?
Oh, he's got hands.
He's got hands.
He's got hands. If I had known he was going to catch that, I would have interviewed him yesterday.
Yeah.
Prior to the pass, number 52 of the defense, holding. 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Normally the defenders can get away with it because they don't throw the ball to the receiver. But once the ball is in the air, the defenders have to let the offensive player go. But being an offensive player, I think they're always holding.
You would, wouldn't you? Yeah, yeah.
Always.
I feel sorry for Fred Pollock. I mean, if that had stood up as a play, he'd have had his first catch of the season. Those offensive linemen, they don't get too many chances to touch the ball.
Well, if he hadn't been defensive holding, it would have been illegal reception.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah, he couldn't win either way, could he? On first down, Joe Asker loses the football. And Lee Wiggins was there for Scotland. Has he got it? Yes. Tony Watkins forced the fumble. And Lee Wiggins comes up with it.
Anytime you run in the interior, the offensive line or defensive line, you have to cover up the football. You're not in open space. The defenders coming from everywhere. As you can see, Watkins knocks the ball free. Asker coughs it up, and into the quarter.
That's the end of the first quarter. The Claymores will have the ball when we return. Welcome back to Amsterdam. Nick Halling with Chris Carter of the Minnesota Vikings up in the commentary booth. Amsterdam with the 6-point lead, and they could have had more, but a fumble from Asker recovered by the Claymores.
Asker just has to protect the ball when he's in the interior line. There's so many defenders around him that there's a great potential to fumble the football. And that is not what the team needs at this point in the game.
Second turnover for Amsterdam as well, and it gives Scotland field position for the first time in the ball game. And Craig rolls, getting pressure from Keith Council, and he finds Yo Murphy. No, they're ruling him out of bounds. Marcel Willis was there with the stop, and that wouldn't have given the Claymores anything more than a yard anyway, and he was out. Yeah, Murphy, a buddy of yours from Minnesota days. He got a raw deal there, didn't he? I mean, fancy being there with you and Jake Reed and Randy Moss. A tough place to get a job.
And we just had some talent there. Great player, played on our practice squad for 2 years. Always came over to my house to eat my wife's cooking.
Yeah, he was talking about that last night, wasn't he? Second down, on the ground. Jesse Haynes looks to try and get around the corner from Marcel Willis and is pushed out of bounds. Clyde Johnson with the hit after a pickup of 8. That'll bring up 3rd down and 2.
We're going to be able to see here, you'll be able to see Haynes' speed as he gets to the outside. He's a mixture between a 3rd down back like Napoleon McCaughlin or a Terrell Davis type. Great run on 2nd down to move the chains to 3rd and short. And that's where you want to be as an offense. You don't want to have the markers 2nd and 10, 3rd and 10.
And he's got to have a big game with Carl Peterson, the Chiefs president, in town tonight watching. Haynes lowers his head, looks like he's come up short. Masafumi Kawaguchi, the busy Japanese linebacker, came up, and he is stopped short.
A lot of people don't think there's any pressure in NFL Europe playing, but if you see an NFL executive, and it being your NFL executive, on the sideline before the game, that is pressure on these young players realizing, wow, there is someone out there looking at me. I might have an opportunity to bump it up and be in the NFL roster come the fall.
Now here's pressure, 4th down and 1. The Claymores are going for it. The give is to Haynes, and Haynes dives, and I think he's short. He needed to get past the 24-yard line, and I don't think he made it. And he didn't. They're short. Kawaguchi again involved, this busy Japanese linebacker.
Anytime you have 3rd or 4th, anytime there's no one over the center, no defender in that area, as a quarterback, Mr. Craig has to realize, just take the ball from center. Don't pitch the ball back 7 yards. That's one play that we run with the Vikings that's been so effective. 3rd and short, 4th and short. There's no one over the center. Why pitch the ball back 7 yards? The chances you get in the 1st down are less. You give the defenders a chance to run and make the play in the backfield.
And it puts Amsterdam's offense back on the field. David Thompson wrapped up after a gain of 1. Yeah, 2 turnovers for Amsterdam offensively. Brad Keeney on the stop, but the Claymores unable to capitalize on either of them.
On the 1st down, look, there's a big hole here and there's a hole here. All we need is 1 yard. All he has to do is go up and what they call goose the center. Tell the center, we're the only 2 gonna know the snap count. When I put pressure on your backside, hike the ball. Easy 1st down, move the chains, opportunity to score points in the red zone.
Meanwhile, we have an injured Admiral on the field. Not sure of the number.
And this is one thing after talking to a lot of the coaches and a lot of the players. After a long season, a lot of these young players trying to get into NFL camps, these guys do not want to get hurt in the last game of the season.
Well, the Rhine Fire, as I said, need to win against Berlin tonight to keep their World Bowl hopes alive. And it's turned around after that early Berlin field goal. They're now up by 14-3. Remember, a Fire victory means Barcelona have to win in Frankfurt tomorrow night. And it's one of the offensive linemen that's down. And you don't wish an injury on any player at any time, but it would be particularly cruel in the last game of the season, as you say. It's David Mudge, the right tackle.
It's tough because these guys are trying to go back to the United States and get some type of rest before they start some type of conditioning lifting program before they go to NFL camps, which begin the last week of July and the 1st week of August. And you don't want to be hurt. You don't want to be in rehab. You want to go home healthy and give yourself the best opportunity that once you do get into training camp.
So David Mudge from the Buffalo Bills will sit at least 1 play out. 2nd down and long. The 4 wide receivers in for the Admirals. Kubiak calling the signals and looks to his right, and it's incomplete. Looking for Sean McWashington. Joey Ellams was there step for step, and that's going to bring up 3rd down and 9.
Joey Ellams right here on the screen is allocated by the Seattle Seahawks, and he's got great players there to watch, and he's trying to develop and be a great young cover man in this league. And that's what a lot of the NFL executives and coaches want to see. Can these young people cover in one-to-one matchups?
3rd and long. Kubiak with time. Looks for Joe Douglas. What a hit from Elms. Douglas, Elms and the ball all got there at exactly the same time. And the result, incomplete. And Joey Elms like that one.
It's the Joey Elms series here. What he's able to do is sit back in zone. And a great player can play man-to-man, but a player that wants to really make a roster and make an impact can sit back in the zone and read the route and come up and make a big hit on the receiver to nullify the catch.
Francesco Biancomano will kick it away. Michael Sellers waits. And it's a wobbler that takes a hop and fielded at the 35-yard line. And Jenkins dances and dukes and eventually gets to the 41, and a flag inevitably comes in. So we'll have to wait and see on that one. We have two flags. This one goes against Amsterdam. And if I hear the words ineligible man downfield again this season, I'm going to go mad.
It's tough. Special teams are tough when you have a 52-man roster, let alone 35 men.
Elios is a member of the kicking team, downfield, number 93. The penalty is declined.
I told you I was going to go mad.
Put in play at the spot, first down.
But they declined the penalty for you.
Oh, that's good. So it's not going to go in the books. Thank goodness for that. So we're going to take a short break while I try to recover my senses. Back in a minute. Meanwhile, the Scottish Claymores offense trying to walk off their slow start as well. No fireworks so far. But they're only down by 6. And Craig will roll out and look and finds Murphy, and Murphy gets away from the first man and still on his feet, and now some space in front of him. Waits for his blockers and picks up 16 yards before Kelly Malvo comes in and hits him. And Yo Murphy seemed to be on his own in open field for an awful long time there.
Anytime a quarterback finds a receiver down the field, he wants everybody to turn into an offensive lineman and get blocks from him. Yo Murphy does a tremendous job of avoiding some tacklers, picking up great yards after the catch. Sean Bell with a great comeback block.
Play action on first down. Murphy looks, has a wide open Jesse Haynes. And Haynes still on his feet inside the 5. Kelly Malvo was the only man there to stand him up. And Malvo eventually got some help. But it's a 1st and goal for the Scottish Claymores.
What makes this play is the quarterback. He's going to put the ball into the fullback's pocket as if he has the ball to fake the linebacker, get everybody sucked up to the line of scrimmage, and allow Haynes to skate down the sidelines undefended. Great play fake by Damian Craig. And those are the things that a young quarterback has to learn how to do in the NFL.
It's a play that worked for him last week. It's a play that worked for him all season. On first down and goal, Haynes, nothing doing. Stuffed. Kawaguchi inevitably involved on the stop. This tough little inside linebacker. Bart Conley was there as well.
Give him another opportunity.
He's got 2 more, possibly 3 more.
I mean, he makes the big play to get the ball down inside the 5-yard line. Give him an opportunity to run the ball again. Those timeouts are going to come back to haunt him in the first half.
That's the 3rd and final timeout of the first half for the Scottish Claymores. So we're going to take a break as well. Back in a moment. Amsterdam up by 6, but Scotland threatening, but they have burned all 3 of their timeouts. And I'm sure the noise level here in the arena has something to do with it. It's absolute bedlam.
The noise always plays a big part, especially when you're in the red zone.
2nd down and goal. Vernon Turner is the motion man. The pitch back is to Jesse Haynes. Touchdown, Scotland. And all that sound just went away.
That's the way you take the crowd out of a ball game, especially the home crowd. They're cheering. They're trying to finish the season on a high note. You want to score points, score touchdowns. Don't give them anything to cheer.
Jesse Haynes with his 10th touchdown of the season. And the Scottish Claymores are level, and Rob Hart, who hasn't missed an extra point kick in 49 attempts, both for London and Scotland, will attempt to give the Claymores the lead here. Bad snap, well handled and well delivered from Rob Hart, and the Claymores have that 1-point lead.
When you score touchdowns, there's a lot of people making key plays. You see Vernon Turner here, an NFL veteran of 4 teams. He's going to come in motion and get a chop block on the defensive end, knock him down to the line of scrimmage, which allows Haynes to get into the crease and get the ball into the end zone. See, Turner's the type of player that he'll do anything to get on the football field. Was a great returner in the NFL, and right now he's trying to do whatever he can to help his ball club.
Yeah, he's bounced around the league as Vernon Turner. As you say, 4 NFL teams. Tampa Bay was one of those stopped. The Rams was another. He was with Frankfurt earlier, came to Scotland last year, and had some personal issues that needed to be dealt with back home before he could come and join this team this year as well. But a wise old head. And there aren't too many wise heads in this league anymore.
Well, the thing you want to do is you want some veteran players who realize what it is to be in the NFL. Because they can help a lot of these young players with the misconception they have with the NFL. You know, a lot of these young players believe they deserve to play in the NFL. And Turner, with his experience, he can tell them, no, listen, you don't deserve to play in the NFL. I've been to the NFL, and this is what you have to do if you want to get to the NFL and stay in the NFL. It's like having an extra coach on the field.
Indeed it is. Rob Hart, the barefoot kicker, will kick it away. Thompson and Kidd are the deep men. Kidd fields at the 10. Stumbles, stays on his feet, gets past Tom Tovo, finds a crease. Now he's only got Rob Hart to beat and could be gone. Roel Blenman's trying to catch him, but they're not going to get him. Touchdown, Amsterdam, James Kidd. "90 yards. And once he beat the first man, there was a huge seam for him, and he was gone. And that noise level I was talking about, Chris, that had just gone away, it just came back.
It's back. It's back in a hurry.
James Kidd is back. Amsterdam's lead is back as well. Jim Kreiner's headache's back. Let's see if Silvio Di Liberto can get his kicking boots back. He missed the last extra point. What does he do here? Just about. And Amsterdam lead it 13-7. James Kidd, his second touchdown of the ball game.
Kidd does a tremendous job because he sees his hole after almost falling and is very patient with it. And all the great returners are very patient once they get in the hole. And to be a great returner, you have to make someone miss in the open field. And once you get into the open field, you got to be able to turn on the burners, and no one's going to catch him. He could go all the way.
Oh, he was running away from Cliff Ivory and Roel Blenman at the finish there.
But a great job by the special team.
Look at the seam.
Yes, they give him the open seam, but also the cutback move right there on the kicker, that makes the play. And right now, it's just a foot race. Not many people are going to beat Kidd in a foot race.
No, no, great speed.
He has provided tremendous spark, not only through the special teams, but also offensively to give them the lead early in the ball game. I like it. So he's confident. He knows no one's going to catch him, so he's not even looking back.
And he was happy. Touch of the Chris Carter's in the end zone there.
Oh.
Well, no, that bit wasn't. that was all James Kidd.
Yes.
You ever score on a 90-yard kickoff return?
Oh, no, sir. No, sir. Longest touchdown ever is 80 yards.
Do they ever have you playing special teams, ever?
I've played special teams when I was a rookie, but I tell the special teams coach right now, there's nothing special about me, coach.
Yo Murphy, who leads the league in kickoff return yardage, will attempt to do what James Kidd did with different results. Jason Shelley was there, so too was Lewis Adams. Meanwhile, the Rhein Fire in Dusseldorf are running riot.
They're on fire.
21-3 now. I think we can safely put that one in the book. Although strange things have happened in this league this year.
It has, but it's tough for Berlin, the first year in expansion franchise in this league, given the firepower that Ryan has and their ability to run the football and make big plays in their passing game down the field. They're in a mismatch.
So if it stays like that, Barcelona must beat Frankfurt. And Frankfurt, possibly with one eye on who their opponent would be in the World Bowl. I don't think they want to face the fire. So it'll make tomorrow night's game very interesting. Now, how can Scotland and Damien Craig respond? Craig puts it upstairs for Vernon Turner. And it's broken up. Nothing doing. Kelly Malveaux.
Vernon Turner's always been known for his speed. Anytime you get him matched up on anybody, a defensive back, a linebacker, especially a linebacker, he's going to have the mismatch. What you have here is an underthrow. Malveaux makes a great play and causes the interception.
Picks it off as well.
If you have Vernon Turner on the outside, you have Damien Craig has a bigger arm than that. You know, he underthrows him, and that's the reason why they get the interception. The underthrow makes it possible for the interception.
I tell you, it was a lucky pick. The ball just seemed to roll into his arms.
Vernon Turner's an old man, but he can still run.
That's disastrous for the Claymores. It puts their defense back on the field, and David Thompson will try and punish them. Flag comes in the Amsterdam backfield. Matt Finkis on the stop. But let's see if we can take another look at that interception from Kelly Malveaux.
Malveaux does a great job. He comes into the play late. He sees the receiver's hands up, and he comes in and knocks his hands down and knocks the football out of there.
In fact, it's Greg Williams that comes up with it.
Number 88, 10-yard penalty, remains first down.
Corey Geeson getting assessed. So Malveaux caused it. Williams picked it up. Johnny on the spot. The bottom line is Amsterdam with the ball once again.
But those are the type of plays that safeties have to make. When the cornerbacks that are in man-to-man coverage and get beat, or linebackers in man-to-man coverage, they're the safety valve. They're the last line of defense.
Williams, pick number 4 on the year. Thompson looking to burst through the hole. Will get to the 30-yard line. Another 7 yards. That'll bring up 3rd down and 2. Shatoni Sargent on the stop. And that Scotland defense has been on the field an awful long time in this first half.
And that will have an effect on the ball game in the 4th quarter.
The 4 wide receiver package out. On 2nd down and 12. Kubiak feels the pressure but gets away. And has a man down on the far sideline. It's Jason Shelley. And Shelley will get it closer to the 1st down marker. Still a couple of yards short. Joey Ellams was there in coverage.
You know, Emil Palmer, the big defensive lineman, is not known for his speed and quickness. He's able to get penetration into the backfield. But Kubiak, hey, he said Damon Craig's not the only guy in this game who can run. I got a little quickness myself. He's able to avoid the pass rush and make a nice crisp throw on the outside to get the change to 3rd and short.
A great effort on the sideline from Jason Shelley.
Nice little tipsy toe on the sideline there.
Shelley led this league last year with 42 catches. This year, that's unlikely to even put him in the top 6.
Yeah, but he would like to duplicate what he did last year. He's not at all pleased with his productivity throughout the season. You know, after coming off a great year last year, he was looking to build upon that performance in this season, and he hasn't been able to do that.
Actually released in camp as well and brought back with injuries elsewhere. Todd Doxson went down, Bob Rosensteel went down. Shelley was brought back in by Al Luganbill. But as you say, to go from the leader of the league last year, there's confirmation of his numbers, to really the 4th receiver here. It just shows how much offensive firepower has started to come into this NFL Europe League.
Oh, yeah, and they have a number of quality receivers in the league this year. 42 catching 500 yards wouldn't even get a mention this year.
It certainly wouldn't. Kidd is wide left, Shelley wide right. Third down. The give is to Thompson, and Thompson runs into Brad Keeney and Steve Rosger, keeps his feet going, picks up 4 yards and an Amsterdam 1st down.
Daryl Terrell, the left tackle here, he's going to get good push into the defensive line here. Anytime you're going to try to run the ball, what they call the point of attack, you need push out of the offensive line. And he's able to move the defensive lineman out of the way just to give the back enough crease to get the 1st down.
Joe Douglas is the motion man. Kubiak with time will dump it off to Douglas. Douglas brought down from behind by Brad Keeney after a gain of 10. Joe Douglas, a very popular player here. Came into the game with 27 catches, had 38 last year. He was in camp with Seattle a couple of years before that. Too small, too short, too slow, too everything, but just makes plays.
But he gets the job done week in and week out. He's the kind of player that's going to be able to run the ball, catch the ball out of the backfield, make some special teams tackles. He's the kind of guy that, you know, you just have to find the spot for him.
Well, they've brought the sticks in, and Douglas has come up just, well, 3 inches short. No more than that. So 2nd down and inches, which I always think is a good downtown down, isn't it? That's where you go and, you know, go long, go for it all.
It's a good down. It's a great position to be in as a quarterback or a coach because you have a number of options. The one thing that the defense, you have to, they're trained, just like you're trained, to believe that 2nd down is the downtown. 2nd and inches is the downtown down. So if they play tight coverage, they got to, hey, they're rolling the dice.
Let's see if they roll the dice. They bring the blitz, and Alan Campos read it all the way. And it may just have done enough to hold up Amsterdam again. But remember, they needed so little, but Campos saw it coming and was just in there to bust it up, and Brad Keeney was there to help as well.
He makes a good play coming off the edge. Anytime you have a linebacker that's not blocked and you have a running back running right at him, you know he has to be able to make that play. And Campos has made a lot of plays throughout the season, and you're not going to be able to run at him and not block him and think he's not going to be able to make the tackle.
They should have gone downtown. And they've held him on that down. So it's going to bring up 3rd down.
Campos is here on the screen. He's going to move up on the end of the line of scrimmage before the snap count, trying to predict where they're going to run the ball. Comes down the line of scrimmage and smacks the back in the backfield. That's what you have, is a good call defensively against a very average offensive play. Sometimes, me being an offensive player, you know, you're going to lose against defense, and you have to give them credit.
They need to get the ball to the 46-yard line. Thompson is in the backfield. Both tight ends are in, and this time it's Kubiak on the keeper, and a second effort looks like it might have got him there. But Kubiak paid a price. He's getting bounced around in there like a piece of wood on the ocean, but he's done enough for the 1st down. So Jim Kubiak showing his toughness and his leadership to keep the chains moving. Although they are going to bring out the sticks, but from where they've spotted that ball, this should be enough. And it is.
We have nine guys on the interior of the defense. I didn't want to mark 9 X's. It's tough. The quarterback sneak is the best play because he can get the ball the quickest and get to the line of scrimmage quicker than a running back.
1st down, Kubiak will throw. The pressure comes. Kubiak dumps it off to Thompson. Thompson meets Alan Campos and gets past him and gets down to the 40-yard line before Lee Wiggins and Tony Watkins eventually converge to stop him. A 6-yard gain will bring up 2nd down and 4 for Amsterdam.
You know, Thompson's done a good job running the ball, but he's also done a good job throughout the season coming out of the backfield. He's a lone back. This is what we call a pro set, a one-back set. He sees Tony Watkins coming up. That's his responsibility. He gets a chip on him because he knows it's a screen pass and gets to the outside to be able to show his quickness and move the ball down the football field. I mean, he can do a lot of things. Great quickness coming out of the backfield.
Flags all over the field, 4 of them. And the preliminary suggestion, false start.
False start. Number 74 of the offense. 5-yard penalty, remains 2nd down.
Derek LeVake, his 2nd flag of the day. Offensive linemen love getting their number called, don't they? These guys would sooner toil in anonymity.
Well, they love to be down the goal line. Maybe the offense coordinator throw them a pass. But they don't like their name called as far as holding or illegal procedure.
2nd and long, Thompson Gets past Campos, then has to cut back inside and enables Campos to make the tackle. At the 41-yard line, and that'll bring up 3rd down and 5 for the Amsterdam Admirals.
Campos doing a good job. He's just reading. It's just one-on-one. Anytime you have a one-back set and there's a middle linebacker, he's his responsibility. But he can run from sideline to sideline with the best of them.
3rd down. Kubiak with time. A lot of protection, and it was almost picked off. Cliff Schamberger was thinking his 2nd interception of the day. But it falls incomplete, and it sends out Francesco Biancomono. And defensively, the Claymores needed to hold firm there.
Good defensive series.
So Biancomono, the league's only Italian, will kick it off to, or kick it away rather, to Michael Jenkins from the Seattle Seahawks. He's had an injury-plagued year, and it's a good high-hanging kick, and a fair catch called for by Jenkins at the 13-yard line. Well, Damien Craig has had his moments here in NFL Europe. What does he need to do if he's going to crack a lineup somewhere?
Well, at this point in his career, which is a very young career, there's a number of things that he needs to do. He needs to be patient and realize that the process is going to happen. Maturity, that means not necessarily maturing off the field socially, but getting the repetitions and maturing as a quarterback. He needs to read the whole field. There's several times this season where he's thrown the ball into coverage because his eyes were only on one side of the field. But he also needs to be patient and not try to throw the long ball all the time. And sometimes dink and dunk, and then the long ball will be there.
The give is to Vernon Turner. And Turner, working behind the block from Jamie Reeder, runs into Keith Council, and flags start coming in, and a bit of pushing and shoving on the far side.
I think it's a personal foul on the tight end, late hit.
There was some bad blood between these two teams last week as well.
There was a number of scuffles in the game.
Yeah.
I asked a number of the players about it, and they were looking forward to the matchup. As the game ended last week, there was a lot of chitter-chatter on the field, and even in warm-ups, when I was down on the field, I could hear the players yelling at one another. I thought that only happened in the NFL.
Personal foul during continuing action. Number 88, the offense.
Sean Bell.
Half the distance.
And it's something you just cannot afford to do. Although he protests his innocence, but I don't think Jim Kreiner wants to know.
No, Jim Kreiner is his disciplinarian. He's not going to like that. Getting a personal foul at this point in the ball game, you know, put your team inside the 10-yard line. You know, it nullifies a lot of their offense that they would like to run out in the field.
Sellers is the motion man. On 1st and long, they'll try and go back on the ground again with Vernon Turner, and the old campaigner Turner gets a big hit from Kelly Malveaux after a pickup of 10, and that'll bring up a 2nd down and 5.
You know, Turner's trying to add a spark to this ball play. He said, hey, coach, give me an opportunity. I've played big-time football before. Give me the ball, throw me the ball. You see the receivers blocking downfield. Jenkins giving him an opportunity to turn it up and get an extra 5 or 6 yards down the field.
Well, potentially this could be Vernon Turner's last game. It would be good to go out on a high. Craig on 2nd down fires. Jamie Reeder gets it, but Marcel Willis gets Reeder, and Reeder will lose yardage. In fact, from the spot of the ball, it will be no gain.
Marcel Willis, a former Ohio State Buckeye, he's kind of playing a rover position. He's not necessarily a linebacker. He's not a DB. He's kind of a tweener as far as height and weight. They're trying to find the spot for him on the field. They feel he's a good enough football player where he must be on the field. So they created a position for him.
3rd down, and you can hear the noise. Craig steps up and now will take off. Myron Newsom is there, and Newsom may have done enough to stop him. And they'll bring the sticks out again for this one. Although Craig is coming straight off, it's short.
Newsom has what you have as a nightmare. Anytime you have Damien Craig open field and you have to try to make a play on him, you know, right here, Damien just tries to do too much. Just put a quick move on him, you know, Newsom comes in and hits him on the side of the knee, you know, he's going to be in some pain after that type of hit.
This is the bad news for the Claymores. Not that they didn't get the first down, but Damien Craig on his knees. Dolan slips and manages to get rid of it somehow to Steve Rosger. And a flag comes in. What a disaster for the Claymores. There are flags all over the field. And the Claymores' season is threatening to disintegrate here. In fact, it was John Ballantyne, the Australian, that came in and may just have seen his last action of the season.
Anytime you have a fumble snap, there's a possibility that a legal man downfield. You know, Rosger makes a heads-up play. He's a native of St. Paul, Minnesota, so I got to put in my plug for my homeboy.
Absolutely.
But he makes a heads-up play by picking up the ball instead of trying to run. Realized I can't pick up the first down, so he kicks the ball down the field. But the penalty is a great chance at someone down the field when it takes that long to kick the football.
What else is going to go wrong for this team? They're only down 13-7, but they've been outplayed.
Eligible player downfield on the kicking team, number 54. The penalty is declined. First down.
That's Ryan Olsen.
As a punter, sometimes you take your eye off the football and start looking at the rush. But, you know, normally the punters aren't the greatest athletes in the world. Right there, he just stumbles over a piece of grass. I think we need to talk to the people about the grass. They got the grass too high. It's too high for him because the grass gets the tackle on the play.
Now, Ballantyne's 6'3", and Sean McWashington, who was coming in on there, is only 5'9". And for a guy who played Aussie rules, well, he certainly felt the pressure from McWashington. And there you see the flag. And John Ballantyne.
Well, heads-up play by Rosger, go get the ball down to the other side of the field.
They could have been facing a first and goal. Instead, Amsterdam are at Scotland's 45-yard line, and that's down to Steve Rosger. First down, David Thompson blasts his way through a big hole. First down yardage. He got through to Cliff Schamberger and Alan Campos before he was stopped, but 11 yards will bring up another first down and a twisted left ankle from Damien Craig.
Anytime you're a running quarterback, there's an opportunity you're going to get some of your limbs twisted up. And he's going to be a running quarterback. That's his style because he's a great athlete, you know, but he has to realize at certain times you have to get down on the ground.
First down, Amsterdam. Kidd wide left and McWashington wide right. Frank Temmings in the slot. And they look for Jason Shelley. And Shelley is tackled by Cliff Schamberger right at the first down marker. Close to 10 yards on the play.
I got it, go.
And the chains move.
Anytime you have a back that's been very effective running ball, you can give a play fake to him. The whole defensive line, you know, goes to the right side of the field, and Shelley's able to slip into the perimeter, and he's able to make a nice little easy throw. It's a good throw for a quarterback.
And that takes us to the 2-minute warning, with Amsterdam leading 13-7 and looking to add to that lead. Welcome back. Well, the Rhein Fire in Dusseldorf are now running riot over the Berlin Thunder, 35-3. And what it means is that Barcelona will have to beat the Frankfurt Galaxy in Frankfurt tomorrow night if they want to go to the World Bowl. Chris Carter, you'll be doing that game, won't you?
I'll be there, and everything on the line.
First down. Play action, flags come in. There was movement at the line, and that's going to be picked Joey Elams. And Elams will be down in the end zone, but we'll have to wait and see what happens with these flags. And there was definitely movement at the line of scrimmage. And it did look as if somebody was offside for the Claymores, and that is the call. Joey Elams can't believe it. And that just sums up the night so far for the Scottish Claymores.
Elams is having a great ball game, but I think this interception is going to be nullified by a defensive penalty.
Offside, number 9 in the defense. 5-yard penalty remains, first down.
Sargent at the top of the screen is the left defensive end. He's trying to get off on the count. He realizes it's going to be a pass, but he jumps the count. And those are the kind of mistakes that will kill a ball club and cause you to lose the game. That's a possession play right there. If they don't get the penalty, offensively they have the ball at the 20-yard line with a chance to go in and score before halftime.
Disastrous for the Claymores once again. David Thompson runs into a whole wall of trouble. Tom Tovo, number 91, was the first man there. So stopped after no gain.
Tovo's one of your buddies, right?
From Southampton. He's my boy.
Southampton.
He's the only guy in this league that I can talk soccer with. Nobody else knows what I'm talking about.
No.
You don't know what I'm talking about.
And who's your soccer club?
Southampton. Tom's team.
You'll never guess my soccer club after the next play.
Okay. Kubiak on second down, feels the pressure from Tovo, rolls away, but Aaron De La Torre has got him wrapped up, but he still manages to throw it, but it's incomplete. He was looking for Sean McWashington, and that's going to bring up third down. Cliff Schamberger was there to break it up, but De La Torre made Kubiak throw it away.
Great play on the slot receiver, getting the jam on him, playing a little zone. When you're in zone defense, you have to stay back and take away the deepest defender down the field. And when the ball's thrown, you have to try to make a play on the ball. It's zone defense, but once the ball is thrown, it's like man-to-man.
So third down, and the Claymores need to hold him here. Kubiak looks, they've got a wide-open Jason Shelley, who makes the catch ahead of Denorston Mosley and then gets out of bounds. First down, Amsterdam.
Now Shelley's trying to, finish the season on a strong note, realizing I haven't played as well as I'd like to, but I still have it in me. Number 28, Mosley, the defensive back, falls down and makes it easy on him. But Shelley's really trying to go out with a bang the last game of the season.
Making up for lost time, Jason Shelley. Just over a minute remaining in the first half. Amsterdam looking to increase this lead. David Thompson looks to burst outside. We'll stop the clock with Shatoni Sargent in hot pursuit.
Great pursuit. He's probably upset he nullified that interception earlier. He's trying to make it up to his team.
Not bad for a 280-pounder. He's breathing heavily.
Oh, yeah.
Sargent.
But see, right now it's his own fault. I don't feel sorry for him. At this point, he's supposed to be on the sideline, sucking on water, giving Damian Craig and the offense an opportunity to score.
So, second down. Kubiak with pressure. And it's picked off this time. Schamberger, his second of the ball game.
Zip.
So the Scottish Claymores stay alive. Schamberger, who hadn't had the greatest of seasons coming into tonight, comes up with a second pick of Jim Kubiak.
Now, this interception is definitely not caused by Sargent's pressure on the outside, because at this point, he's wiped out. He makes the penalty to nullify the pass interference, puts no pressure. Kubiak has all day, but he throws the ball too hard on the inside. The rule for a quarterback is across the middle, never throw the ball late and high. And that's what he does right there. Puts a little too much zip on it, and Schamberger's able to come up with the interception.
Second interception tonight, second interception of the season as well. Craig looks, has a man, it's complete, it's first down yardage. They have no timeouts. This is where those burn timeouts are going to come back to hurt the Scottish Claymores. You said it would, Chris. First down, Craig looks, can't find a man. And Clyde Johnson was thinking interception. Incomplete.
It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough with 30 seconds and no timeouts to try to advance the ball 50 or 60 yards. Those timeouts earlier, right now is when you need those timeouts, because there's not much time. Now they can't throw the ball in the middle of the field and have enough time to get a couple plays run.
So the clock, their biggest enemy, and Craig will dump it over the middle. They'll give him that. And Haynes can't get out of bounds, can't get anywhere near out of bounds before he's flattened by Lewis Adams. Masafumi Kawaguchi there as well.
Great play by Adams, being able to nullify any yards after the catch and stopping the running back from getting out of bounds.
10 seconds left. Under 10. Craig's just got to go for it all and hope for the best. He finds Sellers, and Sellers has just got to hit the sidelines as fast as he possibly can, and does with, well, it looked like 1 second left. but the clock carried on moving. And that was a hometown clock, I think. Let's see if they put a second back on.
I think they're going to correct it.
There was a biased clock operator at work there.
Yes, but Mr. Triplett steps in and realizes there's 1 second left in the first half.
And there it is. There's the confirmation. Damien Craig, 1 second left, 59 yards to go. And Craig, with time now, feels the heat, rolls away, buys himself a more time. He's got a wide open Haynes, can't find him. It wouldn't have gone anyway. And there was no miracle for Scotland at the end of the first half. It's not been a good half for the Scottish Claymores. Everything that could go wrong has gone wrong. The bottom line, they're not out of this. Amsterdam lead it 13-7.
Marcus Williams, who has struggled at times this year, as you saw, will be kicking to Andre Rowan, and it is a fake to the 30-yard line. There goes Baisley, and it's Baisley for the end zone.
Kenny Bynum scored 3 touchdowns last week, all very close to the goal line.
And he does so again. Punt. Standing. Set is 40. Tag this to Ryans, who elects to catch the ball inside the 5-yard line. Gets away from the tackler and has the sideline. Pierce can't get it. He may go 98. 5 touchdown. Credit to that offensive line. Trying to block for Bynum now. To the 5. End zone bound. Touchdown. Arianes has completed 3 in a row. 4 of his last 5. For the end zone, open McCormick. 5 of his last 6. Touchdown. For the end zone. Touchdown. Anthony Rogers.
Simon in the secondary, and even you would have caught this one, Chris.
I think I could catch that.
But something you probably wouldn't have been able to do, Chris, is this 90-yard kickoff return kid showing an explosive burst of speed and a clean pair of heels to the Scottish Claymores, and the timing of that so critical. The Scottish Claymores have just taken the lead, only to have it snatched right back.
They had an opportunity to get the momentum, but they were able to snatch it back, get the hometown fans back into the game. You know, kids having a sensational game, sensational first half so far.
There's the numbers, not much to shout about as far as the Claymores are concerned. That's well down on their averages. And 3 turnovers for Amsterdam, but it's still the Admirals that lead.
Yeah, the 3 turnovers are key, but right here, anytime you have 17 minutes time of possession, a 5-minute advantage, you know, we can see that Scotland's defense is wearing down. You know, they've been on the field too long at this point in the game.
Actually, they've held up pretty well so far, but as you say, Chris, come the 4th quarter, this is a defense that if they spend that much time on the field, they're really going to start to feel the heat.
Right, they have held up as far as a productivity standpoint because they've only given up 13 points. But during the course of the game, especially into the 4th quarter, the last game of the season, you're going to find some guys that are going to be checking their monitors to see, wow, do I have enough energy? Do I have enough fight to fight this thing out after being on the field for 17 minutes the first half?
Well, there's the quarterback comparison. And neither of them exactly setting the place on fire. Damien Craig, remember, needs 329 yards to set the new record for a single season. To break David Archer's record, he's going to have a storming second half if he's going to get there. He also needs 4 touchdowns as well.
Now, Craig can catch fire in a hurry. You know, Kubiak is very fortunate that his defense has really helped him out. When you throw 2 interceptions and you still have a 6-point lead at halftime, that means your defense is playing well, your special teams are playing well, and offensively, the second half, you need to do your part.
Jim Kubiak from the Indianapolis Colts. It's a good situation for him there because obviously they've got the starting position locked up tight. Peyton Manning has that job for the foreseeable future, as we know, but there's no real proven backup behind him, and certainly the number 3 job would be open for somebody like Kubiak to come in and make a showing.
Well, he's going to get an opportunity to come in and compete against some guys who have been in the league but have not set the league on fire. You know, I think between Kelly Holcomb and Stoney Case, they're probably going to keep one of these 2 gentlemen right here, and Kubiak has an opportunity, if he plays well and continues to develop and shows some of the things that he was able to do in NFL Europe, in the NFL camp this summer, he could get that number 3 job.
And ironically, Holcomb, Case, and Kubiak were all in the Barcelona Dragons system at one point or another. Francesco Biancamano kicks it off. Yo Murphy will field it. And Murphy is wrapped up at the 20-yard line. Well, you mentioned that Damien Craig can set things on fire in a hurry, Chris. He certainly did that in week 6 against the Frankfurt Galaxy. So too did Donald Sellers. These two simply lit it up. 611 yards for Damien Craig, which has earned him a place in the Hall of Fame in Canton. They put up a display to acknowledge this performance. And Sellers not bad either. 9 catches, 264 yards, 3 touchdowns, and it finished Scotland on top in a shootout.
He is going into the Hall of Fame, but he did not have a Hall of Fame first half. And I know the leadership and fire he has in him. He's going to try to do big things this second half.
And they'll have to watch Sellers, who's in motion there. They'll go on the ground. Jesse Haynes bulldozes his way to the 28-yard line. Kelly Malvo, who had a good first half with the stop. That'll bring up 2nd down and 3 for Scotland. Malvo leads his team in tackles. And for a guy who played cornerback in college, the man allocated here from the 49ers has made a pretty good adjustment to the safety position. The noise level rises again. Craig has some time, has a receiver. Kelly Malvo, inevitably the man on the tackle. But it's a Scotland first down at the 35-yard line. Yo Murphy hanging on.
Malvo's all over the place. He's making plays inside, outside. He's covering up. He's going to be the guy that's going to be in center field, but he's running around today. You can tell today he does not want his season to end. Showing a lot of quickness. And a player like himself, the more you can do, cornerback, safety, special teams, the greater your opportunities of sticking with the ball club in the fall.
Cooper at the top of the screen. Sellers is the motion man. Craig looks for Scott Cooper. There was contact there. That ball's up in the air. It's picked off by Greg Williams, and there are no flags down. And Williams with his 2nd pick. He's tackled by Jesse Haynes. There was certainly contact with Scott Cooper and Kelly Malvo, but no flags. And Williams with the pick. And the perfect start to this second half for Amsterdam.
You know, Malvo's back in the middle of the field, and he's going to anticipate Cooper coming to the inside. Cooper's running what you call 18-yard square in, 18 yards and down across the middle. What Cooper could do is keep his route flatter to break back on the football. When you're a receiver, you have to play the ball at its highest point, and Cooper's not able to do that. Malvo is able to come in. You know, he's a competitor. You know, Craig wants the pass interference call.
Well, call me a Scott Cooper fan, but I think they should have had it. But that's academic now. The ball now at the Scotland 40-yard line. David Thompson tackled by Shatoni Sargent. Craig can only steam on the sideline.
Yeah, Craig is not only upset by this play, but he believed last week's game that the referees played a big role in the ball game. You know, Yo Murphy they thought was mugged several times, and he came into this ball game feeling as if the referees, if they gave him a fair shake, that they could pile up big numbers.
2nd down and 3. Play action. Kubiak hit by Cliff Schamberger, just has to get rid of it. Jason Shelley was the nearest receiver there. Schamberger on the blitz, wrapped Kubiak up. And Kubiak showing some smarts just to get rid of that ball.
You're going to see Craig sees his man. He's going to come into the picture right here. But Cooper, the receiver, he could come back to the football to help him out. And Malvo, from that angle, it looks like a good play. But when you look at it from a different angle, you can see there was plenty of contact before the football arrived.
Now flags come in. And false start is being signaled against Amsterdam.
Prior to the snap, number 78, false start to the offense. 5-yard
Darryl
penalty,
Terrell from the
remains
Saints.
3rd down.
Now, this is something that would drive Mike Ditka crazy. So if he's going to jump off sides, I hope he gets it out before he gets to New Orleans camp this summer.
Imagine going from Al Luganbill to Mike Ditka. Talk about 2 fiery competitive coaches. Well, we have whistles here again. Well, these 2 teams were flagged all week last week. They're the most flagged teams in the league by far.
Please reset the game clock to 12:30. 12:30.
reason for a lot of the penalties is sometimes when you have ball clubs, it's called lack of discipline. But with these coaching staffs that they have here, they're very fine football coaches. And they teach discipline, and it's a lot of the young players anxious. A lot of them haven't played the last 2 or 3 years, and once they get into ball game situations, because it's hard to simulate the speed of the game in practice.
Third down and 8. Kubiak rolls and runs and gets another first down. Watkins and Schamberger converging on the stop, but 10 yards for Kubiak. He did that in the first half. And as you say, the slide isn't the prettiest thing you'll ever see, but he knows where that first down marker is.
No, he's not going to get a star for sliding. But you'll see Sargent, who's rushing from the outside, he's very fatigued even from the first half. As Kubiak steps up in the pocket, you know, Sargent has an opportunity to make a play right here on the football and misses him. And I believe that fatigue factor is going to set in on Sargent as the game goes on.
Kubiak keeps it alive. Thompson looks to punish him even more. He's wrapped up. Tom Tovo coming in and making the stop. Number 91. And a gain of 2. Bring up second down and 8, and the running game really clicking for Amsterdam.
Very efficient in the running game. 18 rushes, 76 yards. You know, very productive. Not a lot of big plays, but consistency. 5 and 6 yards a carry, which Luganbill loves.
4 wideouts in on second down and 8. Kubiak goes over the middle. He finds James Kidd, who spins away from Denorce Mosley and is down inside the 15. Mosley and Rosger eventually on the stop. But good yards after the catch once again from James Kidd.
James Kidd is on the outside of the screen. He's going to come off and run a shallow cross right here in front of the defender, getting man-to-man against Mosley. You know, he's really won this battle throughout the ball game. Makes a good catch and stops on a dime and gets up the field. Has great quickness, a very small receiver. When they get the football as a defender, you have to break down and make the tackle because they're so small.
2 tight ends in the lineup on first down. Frank Temming lined up wide to the left, the veteran Dutchman. David Thompson will take it inside the 10 to the 7-yard line before he stopped. Brad Keeney, the defensive tackle, was there. And you do get a sense here, Chris, that if the Scottish Claymores give up another touchdown here, they could be in real trouble.
Well, they still have firepower, Scotland, with Damian Craig. They can score 2 or 3 touchdowns in a quarter very easy. But right now, the momentum is on Amsterdam's side.
Flags come in before the snap. False start is going to be the call again.
Prior to the snap, number 88, offense.
It's Corey Geeson this time.
5-yard penalty, remains second down.
Let me see it.
Well, the bad news is Corey Geeson's got to go to the sideline as well and face Al.
Yeah, this is not. He's here on the line of scrimmage. He's already in the stance. You know, he has not. The quarterback is not even up under center. You know, how can you jump offside when your quarterback is not under center? It's a lack of concentration. And this is the part of the field where penalties really kill you. It makes you have long yardage situation, and it takes away the momentum that you've already created. Kubiak
Gives it to Frank Temming, the 6-year veteran who runs in to Tom Tovo, and Frank Temming won't get much. Well, his 21st carry of the season for a guy that's been around this league an awful long time. From Loosdrecht, a boxer, and
Loosdrecht?
a restaurant. Hey, look, I work on my Dutch pronunciation. Yeah, he's a boxer as well, and he runs a bar here in Amsterdam. And an all-round good guy as well, Frank.
I'm not going to even pronounce
Loosdrecht?
Loosdrecht, because he's a boxer. He might hit me.
Yeah, he might be angry. No, he's a good guy, Frank. A gain of 1 for the Dutchman, and a timeout called by Jim Kubiak as the play clock goes down to 3 seconds. Kubiak will go and confer. We will go and take a timeout. It's Amsterdam continuing to lead Scotland 13-7, and they're looking to build on that lead right now. Jim Kreiner can only stand and watch from the sidelines, hoping his defense can stiffen up, but it's a defense that has struggled in the red zone all season long. But it needs to hold firm here. And Kubiak on 3rd down will look for Jason Shelley, and he can't get him. Shelley was open, but Kubiak just couldn't find him. And Shelley's arguing with the officials now, saying he wants a flag.
You know, that's the type of play. If you're going to be a quarterback that's going to be considered for a starter in the NFL one day or a backup in the NFL, you have to try to make these throws. When you're in the red zone, you have smaller spaces to throw in. You have areas that you have to throw the ball low and hard at some point. I think the defensive coverage fooled Kubiak that time. He thought it was man, and it was actually zone.
Francesco Biancamono will attempt a 30-yard kick. It's on its way. It's got the distance. It's got the accuracy. The Amsterdam Admirals have another 3 points. They lead it 16-7. It could have been worse for the Scottish Claymores, but Amsterdam have increased their lead 16-7, and the Scottish Claymores season continues to spiral downwards. It all looked so different back in week 6 when they had that record-setting performance against the Frankfurt Galaxy, that 42-35 win, but after that it was just downhill all the way. They were shocked in a loss against the Berlin Thunder. That really was a big turn-up for the books, and things just continue to spiral downhill all the way. They led the Barcelona Dragons by 25 points in Barcelona, and then let Lawrence Phillips pound the life out of them as they lost another shootout, and then last week another must-win game, and they couldn't do it, and they lost to the Amsterdam Admirals, a result that knocked them completely out of World Bowl contention. And Damien Craig, who after 6 weeks was looking a league MVP, he's been shaky during that streak as well, and he really needs to step up now.
Yes, anytime you see them struggle, Scotland, it's going to be when their leader struggles. He is the leader of the ball club, not only on the field, but off the field. And when his teammates see him struggle, they know that he's the leader of this team. And if he doesn't play well, it's going to make it tough for them to win.
Jesse Haynes lets it go through, and he's made a complete mess of that as Haynes picks it up at the 3, and now will try and be a hero. And somehow manages to get back to the 15-yard line. And there's all kinds of stuff going on again there. Flags come flying in everywhere.
Also a personal foul on Jason Shelley. You know, he comes in there and hits someone with a forearm late, and I think the referees caught him.
Well, Shelley was certainly the first guy to start pushing and shoving. And he's still furious. But this is a dumb one if it goes against Shelley, because the Claymores had poor field position again.
That's not the kind of play you want to make at this point in the ball game. You have them pinned down inside the 20-yard line. Why give them an easy 15 yards?
Personal foul. Number 2, the kicking team. 15 yards, first down.
Now that's the kind of play that will hurt a ball club, but that's also the kind of play you'll see Shelley right here coming into the play late. He probably feels that if someone hit him late, I mean, it's not even a big deal. He's going to come up off the pile and just hit someone.
Well, he goes after John Ballantyne, the punter, as well, so.
You know, that's the kind of play that hurts your ball club, but also that's the kind of play that keeps a lot of these players in NFL Europe and keeps them off NFL squads.
Jason Shelley won't be proud of that. So can the other number 2 do something now? Craig looks, has Donald Sellers, and Sellers is wrapped up by Ray Jackson to the 30-yard line. That's the combination they've been looking for all night long.
Give it to him. No, Sellers is up on this side. He's going to come down and run a quick post pattern. This is a play that they've run very successful throughout the year. But anytime there's not a safety in the middle of the field, this play can be successful. You know, Sellers, and this is part of the game he's trying to work on, the yards after the catch.
37 yards on the completion to the 33-yard line. Nothing doing for the Claymores when they go on the ground with Jesse Haynes, Troy Bailey and John Kirksey on the stop, and Sellers needs 190 yards coming in. He's got 64 of them. He's got to really step it up if he's going to break the record of Sean LaChapelle.
In a quarter and a half, Damien Craig gets hot. This is his favorite target. He can get 120 yards in that period of time.
He can get it in 3 catches. He's done it. Sellers goes wide right. Jenkins wide left. Murphy is the slot receiver. Haynes in the backfield. 2nd down and 10. Blitz comes. Craig steps up, has a lot of time, finds Sellers again, and Sellers will pick up first down yardage and more inside the 5 before he's stopped. Lewis Adams hustling back from linebacker with some help from Clyde Johnson. 33 yards.
You know, Damien Craig makes this play. You know, Sellers does not run a great route, but he's just effective. What you want to do is he's running a curl pattern. Oh, the quarterback's not open. He's not throwing me the ball, so I'll work over the middle of the field. but this is a part of the game that he feels like he needs to work on because he doesn't have great speed, and he wants to be able to make yards after he catches the football.
Cooper wide right. Murphy, the slot receiver that side. Craig, first and goal from the 5, will look to take it in himself. And he'll get only a yard before he's nailed. Marcel Willis, the nickelback, making the stop. Second and goal at the 4. Well, we talked in the pre-game about Donald Sellers and Damien Craig, and really we've waited till this drive to see just how potent this combination can be.
But right now, they're giving the fans a glimpse of what they've done throughout the season. The last several weeks, they have struggled, but they're trying to turn it on here and try to bring them back for a victory.
Craig closing in on that record. Sellers is to the right. Craig looks, has time, goes the other way, finds Jesse Haynes. Haynes right at the goal line, and they're marking him down at about the 6-inch mark. Marcel Willis was there, so too was Bart Conley. And it's going to be third and goal for Jim Kreiner and the Claymores.
This is part of maturing as a quarterback. Looking the ball down the field. Oh, there's no one open. I'll just take 3 or 4 yards to my tailback out to the left. And that's a part of Damien Craig's game that's going to develop over the years.
And a good call by the officials as well. They struggled here in the first half in short yardage. What do they do here? The toss back is to Jesse Haynes, and he goes in, and the Claymores are back in the ball game. Touchdown, Scotland. Jesse Haynes with his second of the night.
Coach Kreiner's doing a great job of using Yo Murphy in the same position he used Vernon Turner the first half. He's going to bring him in motion. He's going to knock down the defensive end to kind of give him a soft edge around the outside. And if you're going to run the football inside the red zone, you need a soft edge. And just don't put me in as receiver to make that kind of block throw.
Rob Hart will attempt to tack on the 51st consecutive extra point of his career. Not a bad snap, well handled by Kevin Drake and dispatched by Rob Hart. And we have a 2-point ball game. Jesse Haynes with his second touchdown of the night. It's 16-14 Amsterdam over Scotland. Welcome back. Nick Halling with Chris Carter, the big 2 for Scotland, stepping it up when they needed to. Sellers, the receiver, Craig, the quarterback. 2 big completions on that scoring drive. And the net result, the Amsterdam lead trimmed to just 2 points. Rob Hart kicks it away. David Thompson fields at the 20-yard line and is hit, but manages to squirt away. And the ball is loose, and the Claymores think they've got it. And they're ruling him down by contact. So Amsterdam get a break. But this game now very much in the balance. I think Thompson glad to get out of that one. A 13-yard return. Graham Reith, the young Scotsman, involved in the action. Good to see some of these young players coming through for Scotland now as well.
You know, they're going to need every player right now to make a contribution because they're in a dogfight.
First and down and 10. They'll go with the 4 wide receiver formation and play action. The pressure comes, but Kubiak gets it away. And it's Joe Douglas who makes the catch. A shoelace catch. Cliff Schamberger pushing him out of bounds after a gain of 3. That'll bring up second down and 7. Schamberger's had a good night. 2 interceptions. Waited all season before getting his first 2. But they all seem to come in bunches, don't they? Greg Williams has had 2 interceptions tonight as well.
Those interceptions and touchdowns, they do come in bunches. But, you know, he's been a fighter all season. He's had some injuries. But the coaching staff, they wish they could have 11 players on each side of the ball that played as hard as he plays week in and week out.
Please put 5 minutes on the game clock, 5-0-0.
Now, he's the type of player that doesn't have the size that a lot of NFL teams are looking for, but he can make a contribution.
So a second down coming up for the Amsterdam Admirals. They'll stay with the 4 receiver package, 4 wide receivers, all with single-figure numbers. And they'll go on the ground again. David Thompson gets past the 40, gets close to first down yardage before he stopped Jermaine Benoit, originally from Croydon and then grew up in Tampa, making the stop. And that's going to bring up third down and short. Benoit's had a good season, a guy who's stepping up from college ranks to his first job really as a professional, made an impact right in week 1 and has just got better and better.
Yes, coming from Central Florida too, he didn't play necessarily the caliber schedule some of the other players played Division I, so that this is the type of league that he can develop his skills and he can compare himself to some of the other players.
And they'll move the sticks because the second effort did produce a first down for Amsterdam. At the 43-yard line. Kidd and Douglas line up to the left. Shelley and McWashington to the right. Play action. Schamberger read it all the way and gets his man. A loss of 6.
He's playing a great game. He's on the end of the line of scrimmage on a quarterback blitz. He's going to blitz and put the pressure. He has containment on that play. And if the quarterback stays in the pocket, it's his job to come up with the sack. You know, you don't have to be 300 pounds, 6'7", or defensive end like Reggie White to get a sack. You just need a good call by your defensive coordinator.
So second and long, play action again. Kubiak feels the heat from Aaron De La Torre this time and somehow gets away and has a lot of room in front of him and then just falls over with Alan Campos converging, and he'll get back to the original line of scrimmage. De La Torre, I think, was thinking another sack for him, but Kubiak showing great elusiveness.
Yeah, he has the quarterback in his grasp. Anytime you play defensive tackle, they're going to run a stunt, but they're going to cross. It's called a TE stunt. The defensive end and the defensive tackle are going to switch assignments, and he has him right there in his grasp, but he has to be able to finish the play. But he does flush him out of the pocket.
Third down and 10. Can the Scotland defense hold, or can Amsterdam keep it alive? The pressure comes, a flag comes in. Kubiak dumps it off to Joe Asker. And Asker still running, but there are whistles and flags, and Asker, with a great effort, runs all the way to the 30-yard line before Tony Watkins eventually stops him. But a great effort, maybe coming back for holding, and is. What a sickener for Joe Asker.
Holding, number 78 of the offense. 10-yard penalty, remains third down.
And that's the second time we've called his number in the second half. And this one really costly.
Mr. Terrell is the offensive left tackle on the right side of the screen. And sometimes when you get tired, your fundamentals begin to fade on you, and you just want to hold on to the defensive lineman. They run the same stunt that they ran on the right side to play before, the TE stunt, but the referee sees him holding on to the waist of the defensive tackle.
So instead of a big first down at the 30, it's 3rd and 20 for Jim Kubiak, who just puts it upstairs for Sean McWashington, and it's incomplete. Joey Ellams was there too. And Kubiak overthrows his receiver again, and the punting unit comes on. Francesco Biancamono. And once again, this Scottish defense, which has been maligned this season, has held firm again.
Yes, they're holding firm, but also they're starting to put more pressure on Kubiak. You know, Kubiak makes a great decision by not taking the sack there and throwing the ball down the field.
Michael Jenkins waits at his own 33. A good hanging kick. Jenkins calls for the fair catch and does so at the 34-yard line. So 2:21 to go, third quarter. Amsterdam continue to lead by 2. We'll be back. Welcome back to Amsterdam. Damien Craig back on the field for the Scottish Claymores. Struggled in the first half, but in the last drive he came alive. Thanks mainly to Donald Sellers. What can he do here? Gets the pressure, looks in the direction of Yo Murphy, who makes the catch, working Ray Jackson all the way to the 45-yard line, and your former teammate comes up with another big catch again.
It is a good catch across the middle, but right now you see an offensive philosophy where they're trying to attack the middle of Amsterdam's defense. 15 to 20 yards and across the middle. That's where the last 3 completions have gone for big yardage.
Murphy left, Sellers right. Cooper is in the slot. They go on the ground to Vernon Turner, who doesn't get much. He was wrapped up by David Sanders, and will pick up a couple. 2nd down and 8.
They must have seen something in the film that thought that they could run the deep square end patterns of 18 yards, 20 yards across the middle of the field.
Well, Jim Kreiner would so dearly love to finish this season on a high note. Whatever happens, it's been deeply disappointing for a team loaded with potential. 2nd down, Craig with time, looks for Murphy again. And a great effort from Yo Murphy. Are they going to rule him in? No. Murphy drew single coverage again with Ray Jackson, but it's incomplete. And that will bring up 3rd down and long. And the pressure building on Damien Craig, who's trying to hear the play above this noise. And person for person, there is no noisier crowd in the NFL Europe League. There may not be a noisier crowd anywhere.
Metrodome.
Possibly. That can be rough. 3 wide receivers to the right. Craig with time, goes over the middle again, can't find his man, seemed to have a mix-up in communication with Yo Murphy, and it's incomplete. And so Chris Dolan and the punting unit are on the field.
You know, Damien has to be patient. He's going to have Yo Murphy here is going to run a shallow cross. They're going to clear out. The other receiver is going to run decoy routes, and Yo's going to come underneath the defense, trying to get the ball to him in a hurry so he can turn the ball upfield and get the 1st down. But Cooper on the left side offense, who has the single coverage, was open also.
So Chris Dolan takes over from John Ballantyne once again. That's a great kick from Dolan that Douglas will let bounce through into the end zone. They couldn't quite pick it up, Cliff Ivory, so it'll be a touchback to the 20. Well, the Rhine Fire know their destiny is slightly in their hands. If they can beat the Berlin Thunder, it puts the pressure on Barcelona for the World Bowl, and they're 38-10 up. That's in Dusseldorf, but of course Barcelona can take their destiny away from them if they win in Frankfurt tomorrow.
You wouldn't be upset if I was cheering for Rhine today, would you?
I have no feelings one way or the other. I'm totally unbiased and impartial, as you know, Chris.
Because I want everything to be on the line tomorrow when Barcelona plays Frankfurt. There's not a ticket in all of Frankfurt to the game. Complete sellout, no tickets available.
And it's going to be quite a night, quite an afternoon rather, in Frankfurt. Quite a night here in Amsterdam as well. 2 teams who have nothing on the line, really playing some tough ball. Tom Tovo stuffing David Thompson on that occasion after a 1-yard gain, and that'll bring up 2nd down and long.
Tovo's played a solid game.
And that'll do it for 3 quarters of play, with Amsterdam with the ball and with a 2-point lead. We'll be back with the 4th quarter in just a moment. Well, I wouldn't normally call Chris Carter a party animal, but at these NFL Europe pre-game power parties, you can always see him around. He's teaching kids how to catch and that kind of stuff. That kid's learned his act as well, and that's the sort of thing you get up to as well.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
I can work on my end zone dance, doing my flips and everything.
I need to tell everybody about how you warmed up with the Scottish Claymores and dropped a pass. We may come to that soon. You actually dropped a ball. Back on the field, though, 2nd down and 8 for Kubiak, and Kubiak can't find his man. A great effort from David Thompson, but that's going to bring up 3rd down and 8. Yeah, Scotland's Ryan Clement, the backup quarterback. He threw you a ball just as a warm-up, and you dropped it.
Well, it was a bad pass.
Oh, it's the quarterback.
The sun was in my eyes, and I didn't have on the right shoes.
Ah, right. So it's the sun, the shoes, and the quarterback. Okay.
And I had on my wedding band.
Ah. Okay, glad we cleared that one up, Chris. 3rd down and 8. And Kubiak with a lot of time. Now he feels the pressure from De La Torre and is flushed out of the pocket. Has a lot of work to do, and he finds his man. What a hit! Lee Wiggins just lowered the wood, but there's a flag down, and I think the quarterback went over the line of scrimmage. But either way, that was a hit in 3 quarters from Lee Wiggins.
I think Kubiak could have made the 1st down if he had tucked the ball and run for it.
I think he knew Lee Wiggins was lying in wait for him.
He did put a good hit on him. But the one thing about Kubiak is important is he has to make good decisions with the football, but he's also, if he's going to get out, I'm trying to wait for the referee, see if he's going to make a call.
Forward pass beyond the line of scrimmage, number 11
That's
in
the
the
call.
offense. 5-yard penalty, loss of down, 4th down.
So the punting unit on for Amsterdam.
You know, Kubiak's been known as a pocket passer, a guy who's going to drop back and not a great athlete. As you see here, he makes good judgments with the football. But as he runs up to the line of scrimmage is right there. He has to throw the football before he passes the line of scrimmage.
Francesco Biancamono will kick it away. Michael Jenkins waits. And Scotland should have decent field position here. And Donald Sellers has blocked it into the end zone. Jackson has recovered it. And it's down on the 15, and Donald Sellers, who's made so many big plays from the wide receiver position, has made a huge play on special teams, and that's the kind of play that'll get him a job with the St. Louis Rams.
Because he's not going to be a starting receiver in the league. You know, he's going to line up right here, come off there and block the punt right there, right off the punter's foot. You know, a lot of these young players have to realize they're not going to be starters in the league. How can I contribute? How can I make a ball club? And if you make plays like that, you're going to get noticed by some scouts and by some coaches.
Well, he came off so fast that Biancamono had no chance.
That is the worst sound a punter wants to hear, is the double thump. Him kicking the ball and the ball hitting someone's hands or stomach.
I formation on 1st down from the 15. Sellers wide left. Play action. They go on the end around to Yo Murphy, and Murphy cuts inside and won't get up too much. Keith Council was there, so too was David Sanders. A pickup of a couple will bring up 2nd down and 8. This is Scotland's 3rd trip to the red zone, and they've scored 2 touchdowns on the previous trips.
Keith Council has no idea where this football is, and he's right here. He's going to take the play fake. As the play goes on, you know, he doesn't know where the football is. He turns around, and Yo Murphy's right there, and he makes the tackle.
2nd down and 8. Haynes alone in the backfield. Craig steps up, feels the heat, still dancing, doesn't get much. Back to the line of scrimmage. David Sanders again, who's in on the last stop. And that's going to bring up 3rd down and 8. And the Admirals defense that one pretty effectively.
The same play that's been effective up and in that they've been running in the 3rd quarter is open this time. Yo Murphy makes a great release off the line of scrimmage, pushes into the defender the way I taught him, and is wide open the back of the end zone. Damian Craig cannot find him with the rush coming in on him.
On 3rd and long, 4 wide receivers in for Scotland. Haynes in the backfield. Craig pump fakes. Now he's in trouble. Somehow manages to keep it alive and is looking and looking and looking. And now he's throwing for Scott Cooper, and it's incomplete. Cooper was down there in coverage with Jackson, but a high-risk throw that's probably just as well went out of bounds.
You know, but a good throw by Damian. He knew he didn't have anything after avoiding the rush. He knew a lot of bad things could happen. Throws the ball out of bounds. At least you get the field goal and an opportunity to give your ball club the lead. You know, they've never led in the ball game, and this is their first opportunity. Not a great series, but still take care of the football and get the 3 points.
Rob Hart, 8 of 11 on field goals. He was kicking 55-yarders in practice. This is the real thing. It's a 32-yarder for the man from Westbury in Wiltshire. And it's blocked. And a chance for Clyde Johnson to return it. And Kevin Drake brings him down, and a flag comes in, and that may be going against Drake. Another huge special teams play, this time in favor of the Amsterdam Admirals. May have been Lewis Adams that got the penetration, and Clyde Johnson reacting first and getting it into Scotland territory, but we do have a flag down.
During your return to the block, personal foul, face pass, number 84.
That is the call on Kevin Drake.
15-yard penalty, 1st down.
And it pushes Amsterdam even deeper into Scotland territory.
Adams is right here. He's going to come in, put pressure on the kick, and be able to get through a seam. You know, somebody's going to make a play. Oh, I got him coming off the wrong side, but he still makes the play. It's a great thing. When you're playing, when you're a linebacker or you're a defensive back and the special teams are on the field, you want to try to get a crease to make something happen. A lot of these ball players are great special teams players.
44 yards on the return. Tack on another 15 for the face mask, and Amsterdam are in good shape, and Kubiak will look to make it even better and does. The completion to James Kidd. They'll give Kidd 11.
Now, Kubiak hasn't played as well as he'd like to. He drops back into the pocket, and one thing he's been known to have is a very weak arm. Right there, you see him making a good throw on the outside, only where the receiver can catch the football. First down inside the 20-yard line.
To the 16. Jason Shelley is in the slot, and Washington wide right. We haven't heard much from him tonight. They'll go back on the ground. David Thompson bouncing out, looking for the corner. He'll pick up another 11 before he's pushed out of bounds. Steve Rosger. They'll move the chains. First and goal, Amsterdam. And how big is that blocked kick from Lewis Adams?
It is a big block from Lewis Adams, but number 20, David Thompson, he's playing big today. That's the type of run where it's the running back all by himself. There's nothing inside. He uses elusive running ability and he escapes to the outside all by himself.
The 3 tight end package comes in. Jeroen Egger checks in, tackle eligible. David Thompson gets the carry. And there's stuff going on in the end zone as well, with Tony Watkins and Derek LeVake locking horns. Offensive lineman against defensive back.
No, I don't think Watkins picked a fight with someone who was in his weight class.
Certainly did.
He's a lightweight, and LeVake is definitely a heavyweight.
No flags. The officials just having a quiet word on this occasion. Second and goal at the 1, but Washington is the wide out. The heavy mob continue to be in. They give it to David Thompson again. He's hit at the line of scrimmage, and a flag comes in the offensive backfield. That was a collision we felt up here. Now let's see what the call is. Here's Jeff Triplett. The call goes against Amsterdam.
Illegal substitution. Number 69 of the offense failed to report playing in an ineligible number, playing in the elbow position. 5-yard penalty remains. Well, second down.
That's Jeroen Egger, and he was in on the previous down as well.
Yes, but Finkus is going to come in. The line of scrimmage is right here. He's going to come in and hit the back and the line of scrimmage in the backfield to make the football play. You know, that's the way Ohio State football players are able to do week in and week out in the Big Ten. We got a lot of Ohio State guys everywhere.
Yeah, including up here.
We're everywhere.
So, 3 wide receivers checking in. Corey Geeson is at tight end. Thompson in the backfield on second and goal from the 6. Kubiak looks, fires, touchdown, James Kidd. His 3rd of the night.
James Kidd is having a career game. He feels like if you get him in bump and run, he's too quick for the defenders to stop him. And at the goal line, you know, a player that's 5'9", you realize he's not going to run the fade pattern. The pattern that myself and Herman Moore and some of the big receivers in the league run, he's, for the most part, going to run something quick and inside.
Diliberto will attempt the extra point, and he makes it. And the Amsterdam Admirals have increased their lead. James Kidd with his 3rd touchdown of the ball game. It's 23-14 Amsterdam.
Welcome back to Amsterdam. The play that led to the team scoring a touchdown was right here, was a great special teams play where you see he's going to get into the crease and change the whole momentum of the game. Gets through just like they teach it and leaps and catches the ball with his hands and allows one of his teammates to pick it up and run for the extra yardage. Great special teams play. You know, a lot of these kids are going to make the ball clubs by practicing their special team skills.
Special teams skills not to the fore there for Jesse Haynes, who was strung out all the way along the line. Kelly Malveaux will get the credit, and he had help from Lee Vaughan, who's played well on special teams tonight. And Damien Craig, with just over 10 minutes remaining, really has to step it up. Just 4 yards on the return for Haynes. And with a 9-point deficit, the Claymores know they must score twice with 10:22 left.
There's plenty of time on the clock. This is the point where you want to be real patient. Either get a field goal or a touchdown, and you're definitely going to get the football one more time.
If you're looking for Sellers, he's at the bottom of the screen, wide right. Craig goes the other way, finds Scott Cooper, and Cooper doesn't get much. He'll pick up 5 before Kelly, or rather Marcel Willis and Clyde Johnson, converge on the stop. But Cooper hung on, as he usually does, the 5-year veteran.
No, Cooper's going to have to make some plays because he's going to get single coverage on the backside. They're going to put 3 receivers to one side of the formation, and Damien Craig is going to have to go to Cooper, you know, during the 4th quarter.
Cooper's to the left, Murphy's the slot receiver, Sellers to the right. Vernon Turner is in the backfield to block, and Craig feels the pressure, rolls away, looks, now looks for Cooper, and that was too high. Some real pressure coming on Damien Craig. Clyde Johnson had Scott Cooper wrapped up. And it's incomplete, and that's going to bring up 3rd down and 5.
You know, Damien has to realize on the strong side, or to the 3 receiver side, if you have Sellers and you have a tight end and you also have, you know, Yo Murphy, the defense is going to put 4 defenders to guard 4 defenders on 3 receivers. He has to come back to the single receiver side.
Same formation on 3rd down. Craig with some time goes over the middle for the big tight end Sean Bell, and it was almost picked off by Kelly Malveaux. Malveaux had a hand on it, and that could have been the Scotland season ended right there. As it is, they stay alive, but this was close, Chris.
You know, Sean Bell right here on your screen, in the middle of the screen, he's a tight end, very athletic, but very suspect as far as his hands. You know, he's a project. He's allocated by the San Francisco 49ers, and he's going to really have to work on his pass-catching ability.
They like pass-catching tight ends in San Francisco, indeed everywhere in the league. Dolan will kick it away to Joe Douglas, who waits at his own 39. Douglas has returned 1 this season. They come after Dolan's kick. It's a good one. That forces Douglas back to his 27, and he'll slip over and then run out of room at the 30-yard line. But another good kick from Chris Dolan pins Amsterdam down at their own 30-yard line, and the Admirals still up by 9. Here's the key man as far as Amsterdam are concerned, James Kidd, who only had 1 touchdown on the season coming into tonight's ball game. He ties a league record with 3, 2 receiving and 1 on a kickoff return. This is the one that really has broken Scotland hearts. Kidd working to Norse Mosley and in. Not bad for a guy who's only 5'8", making a real impact tonight. David Thompson's made a pretty good impact as well, making even more impact here. It's a foot race. Thompson against Joey Ellams. And Ellams will eventually win it, but inside the 10. What a huge play. 72 yards. Check that, 62 yards.
You know, Thompson's going to get the ball, and he's going to use his quickness and vision. He gets up into the hole, and right here you can see how explosive he is as a running back. And this is what a lot of teams in the NFL need. They need a back that can bust a play 50 or 60 yards, not necessarily, you know, a big back, but they need a back that can just make a play.
And 171 yards on the ground for David Thompson.
Can I get that?
Against a Claymores defense that was considered suspect against the pass. That was the feeling around the league, that if this team had a weakness, it was in its secondary. But Thompson has just pounded them tonight. And the wheels threatening to fall off for the Scottish Claymores. The fire continuing to pour in on against Berlin. I think we can put that one in the record book. That means Barcelona must win tomorrow night against Frankfurt.
And I'll
to
be
go to
there.
the World Bowl. And you'll be there. You can't wait, can you?
I'll be there. I won't get to talk as much with Bill Moss being in the mic.
Oh, that's true. That's true. You got the big man with you.
Yes.
First down and goal from the 8. Frank Temming is the wideout. 3 tight ends in. They give it to Joe Asker, who stumbles and had all kinds of room ahead of him if he'd been able to stay on his feet. The blocking up front was pretty solid, and Asker just lost his footing, and Terry Rice-Lockett was able to stop him.
There was a rock concert on this field, and I think some of the footing is very soft. They tried to replace it and knew they're going to have some problems with years. So Joe Asker, if he can keep his footing, I mean, he's going to walk into the end zone. No one is going to touch him. You know, a lot of players have changed shoes, have struggled with what kind of shoes to wear. But if he gets the right type of cleating, the right type of footwear on, he walks into the end zone.
Everybody was blocked. 2nd and goal from the 2. They'll try again, and more stumbling and loss of yardage this time. Steve Rosger coming up and making the stop on David Thompson. That'll bring up 3rd down.
Thompson's struggling too. This is the 2nd time in a row he's carried the football and has stumbled. He gets the football immediately, and especially in the end zone area, the turf is really worn down, and the cleats sometimes grab and sometimes they slip. And that's why you see a lot of the football players on the ground today. And you can't play football on the ground.
Geeson, the tight end, is split wide to the right this time with McWashington in the slot. And Kubiak's looking in the direction of his tight end and gets him. Touchdown, Amsterdam. Touchdown number 5 for the big tight end. A touchdown that was set up by David Thompson and finished by Jim Kubiak, and his 3rd touchdown pass of the night. And Diliberto will attempt to add the extra point. And does. And with less than 7 minutes remaining, the Amsterdam Admirals have increased their lead to 30-14.
This is a great call by the offensive coordinator, Chris Allen. He gets Geeson, who is 6'4", against Ellams, who's 5'10". Anytime you get in that situation, you know the guy 6'3" is going to win. Ellams does a great job in bump and run, but Geeson's just too big for him. And Kubiak makes a good throw, especially in the red zone. You want to keep the ball inside the body of the receiver, and he's able to do that. You know, Ellams is just in a mismatch right there. He's played a great game, but anytime a coordinator can find something on the football field, which they do on that play, they're going to take advantage of it.
So another touchdown for Amsterdam, and you keep looking back at that blocked field goal. Had that gone through, Scotland would have had the lead. Since then, it's been all Amsterdam. Kubiak with touchdown passes to Kidd and Geeson have broken this one wide open.
Now, from a stat standpoint, you look at the game, you look at James Kidd, he's had a great game. You also look at the running back, David Thompson, he's had a great game. But the big key to the game has been Lewis Adams, number 54, the linebacker, who comes through and blocks the field goal attempt, which Scotland had the opportunity to take the lead at that point, 17-16.
Instead, it's now 30-14. And less than 7 minutes left in the season. Biancomano kicks it away. Murphy's deep. He'll field at his 11. What can he do? He gets to the 41, a 30-yard return for Yo Murphy, playing almost certainly his last game for the Scottish Claymores after 3 stellar seasons. Can this guy make it into the league?
It's going to be tough, because when you have the size and the lack of speed, it's tough. The one thing he's done here in NFL Europe is he's played special teams, which gives him a greater chance of making the team if you're going to be the 4th receiver on a ball club. Jason Shelley makes a touchdown saving tackle after making the big mistake early in the 3rd quarter, getting the personal foul.
And you see the age there, 27. Yo Murphy knows, in fact, he was telling us he's got to make his run for the NFL this summer. 4 wide receivers out on 1st down. Craig, draw play. Haynes, past midfield, past the 1st down marker, 11 yards on the carry. Kelly Malvo on the stop, 1st down Scotland.
It's a good play. Good play to start the drive. But they're going to have to throw the football down the field, and Amsterdam realizes that. So they're going to get an opportunity to pin their ears back and rush the passer. But you have to keep contained on Damian Craig.
First down in Amsterdam territory. Craig from the shotgun. The pressure comes up the middle, flags everywhere. Lewis Adams eventually stopping Damian Craig with a suspicion of holding there, and that's confirmed. Big John Kirksey was coming through, number 95, and he's a load to stop.
I wouldn't hold him.
Number 76 of the offense. 10-yard penalty remains.
Goes against Barry Sims, the tackle.
Jonathan Kirksey playing in his last football game. 370 pounds.
And that's officials 370. I think he's bigger than that. There's Big John.
I mean, look at that. I mean, right there, that's at least 380. I mean, that arm right there, look at that bicep, that forearm, that's 20-20. That's like a 20-pound dumbbell.
I tell you, I'm going to miss Big John. One of the nice guys of the league. Craig, with time, looks in the direction of Yo Murphy again, and Murphy will take it to the 40-yard line before he's wrapped up by Lewis Adams, and they'll get 17 of those yards. And that'll bring up second down and 3. And Adams, who joined the team in mid-season after being cut by the Rhine Fire in camp, continues to make an impact in this ball game.
Played a solid game defensively. Drop it into coverage, running down the running backs when he gets the opportunity.
From the gun again, second down. Craig with time, looks. Somebody's coming behind him, but he gets it off to Michael Jenkins, who's down at the 21-yard line by Kelly Malveaux. First down Scotland. Just over 5 minutes remaining, and the Claymores haven't given it up yet.
No, the Claymores aren't going to give up. Anytime you have a club that's led by Damian Craig, there's no quit in him, and he's not going to let his teammates quit on it.
Still with 4 wide receivers from the gun. Craig looks incomplete. He was looking for Donald Sellers, who slipped on the other side of the field. Sellers working against Dexter Siegler.
He throws the football behind him, but it's the same play that they've been running throughout the game. Sellers is going to be here. He's going to come off the ball, showing a quick burst, keeping the defender to the outside. Damian Craig throws this ball to the inside. That's going to be a touchdown, but he throws it behind him, and of course you see the footing is very, very poor.
Cooper left, Sellers right, Jenkins slot right, Murphy slot left. Haynes in the backfield, blitz comes, ball is down on the floor. A fumbled snap, recovered by Craig for a loss of 4. Troy Bailey on the tackle. That brings up third down and long. Only a touchdown will do here for Jim Kreiner's team. The din getting louder and louder here. Sellers and Jenkins switch to the left side to join Murphy. Cooper isolated on the right. Pressure comes. Craig rolls. Gets it to Jenkins, who's got a lot of work to do and is down at the 19-yard line, well short of first down yardage. Bart Conley coming up and making the stop. They need 7 more yards, and on fourth down, there is no alternative but to go for it.
This part of the field makes it very tough because everyone is fatigued, everyone's tired. As you can see, Damian Craig, he's going to take a timeout. He realized his team is very tired. A lot of them are taking off their helmets. They're asking for water. You know, this is an important play and a good call by calling the timeout, giving the offensive club the best chance.
Shake on the outside.
Damian wants to run shake.
But they playing the post. Straight right.
What happened on that first shot across when we called out to you?
Okay, deuce right, 25, tiger, shallow cross, Z shake. Okay? All right, let's go.
What they're going to run here is they're going to run a decoy route on the shallow cross. They're going to bring one receiver 5 yards beyond the line of scrimmage up under the linebackers, trying to get the linebackers, the defensive backs, to bite up on it. And then there's going to be another receiver running to the corner of the end zone, and that is my favorite pattern. Right now, Randall Cunningham, I'm going to be open, fourth down, so throw it to me. In the corner of the end zone, touchdown. Then we're going for 2, onside kick, score again, go for 2 and tie the ball game.
Well, there's a lot of Scottish Claymores fans watching this game that hope it comes out exactly like that, but first they've got to convert this fourth down. Craig has the time, looks for Sellers, contact and flags. All kinds of stuff going on there with Dexter Siegler, and that's going to go against the veteran from Amsterdam.
I felt like I was running the route. I was involved.
You were Donald Sellers on that play.
Yes. But as a receiver, you want the football with the game on the line.
The ball will be placed at the 1 yard line.
It keeps the drive alive.
It's a great opportunity right here. Sellers is a matchup. You know, Damien throws the ball a little bit short. You know, Sellers has the opportunity to make a great play, but anytime you have the defender right there on your back, it makes it tough. But making those plays right there separate a lot of receivers from the other ones.
Vernon Turner is the motion man. Craig with the pitch back. Jesse Haynes is stopped at the 4 yard line. Big John Kirksey, number 95. He will win that battle every time, and the big man playing in the last 4 minutes of his career.
Kirksey, the sprinter, hits him in the backfield. It's amazing, too, because on this part of the field, I mean, he's been in 7 or 8 plays. He has to be tired. Oh, as you see him coming off the field right now.
That could have been his last action as a player.
But it's amazing. He's saying, coaches, hey, give me an opportunity. I can still make a play. And he shows a quick burst, a very short burst.
Big John played for the Rams. One of the big men, always got a smile on his face. 368, give me a break.
Kirksey wants to finish. I mean, the fans here love him. I mean, he's in the middle of the screen right here. He's going to come through the line of scrimmage because he reads the play, and it's too big for the offensive lineman to be able to stop him.
3:23 left in the ball game.
I don't care if you're 310 pounds. If a man 380, 390, or whatever he is right now leans on you, you're going to have to move out of his way.
Absolutely.
I wonder who's first in the meal line.
Well, it's not Al. I reckon it's Big John.
But now that's a perfect. A lot of guys have the wrong name, but if you name that guy Big John, I mean, he warrants that name.
Certainly does. Now, can Damien Craig be big here? Timeout called by Amsterdam. Clyde Johnson.
That's their third.
Now bring Kirksey back in the game. He's rested. He's got some water. Bring him back into the game.
He wants to get in. Look, he's on that huddle on the sideline. Number 95 saying, "Let me in."
I mean, put him in the game. Look at Bill. Put him in.
There he is. He's coming in.
Put him in the game. I mean, give the big guy a chance.
That's Big John at full speed. Meanwhile, the Rhine Fire continue to hold off the Berlin Thunder, which means Barcelona must win tomorrow afternoon in Frankfurt. Chris Carter will go to Frankfurt first thing tomorrow morning to
frequent
see
flyer.
The Barcelona Dragons take on the Frankfurt Galaxy. There it is.
On Fox.
On Fox. You and Bill Maas.
And
second down. Scotland still playing for pride.
I'm pulling for Kirksey to make a play.
Let's see if Big John can do it. Let's see if Damien Craig can do it. Maybe it's Yo Murphy. Play action. Craig unloads, picked off, flags come in. Keith Council has the ball. Sean Bell downs him at the 40-yard line. There is a flag. And Scotland's season could come down to this. It goes against Amsterdam. They hang on by their fingernails.
The penalty negates a good play. But if no one has ever seen a forklift, we're going to see a human forklift.
Prior to the interception, holding number 59 of the defense.
Myron Newsom.
Half the distance to the goal and an automatic first down.
Al unhappy. Can't quite put this one in the book just yet. even with a 16-point lead and 3:14 left. The fans doing their bit. The noise deafening. Eric Moss is in as a second tight end. Craig gives it to Haynes. Haynes is stopped at the 4-yard line. Nothing doing. He was gang tackled. That's going to bring up second down and goal at the 5. And the clock continues to run. We're down to 3.
I mean, Kersey's just now getting started. He's hoping this game goes into overtime because he's right here. I mean, he's going to knock anybody out of his way. This is what you call, oh, Kersey. Come on, I'm ready to make you a superstar and you fall down. That's what you call jumping on the pile.
Kirksey back on the sideline. Craig fires for the end zone. Touchdown, Scotland. Donald Sellers. It's not over yet. But they need to go for 2 here and convert it. .236 left on the game clock. They've got to get this to give themselves any kind of chance. What can Craig and the Claymores do here? Craig will throw. He looks for Sellers again, and they've got it, and they're still alive. Is there going to be some late drama here? Sellers jawing with Dexter Siegler, but it's Amsterdam who still have the lead. They still have the 8-point advantage.
All they're really doing is switching formations. They're putting Sellers on the right side for the touchdown play, and they move him on the left side for the 2-point conversion. On the touchdown, he runs a quick slant route, and Damian Craig has a gun of an arm, and he's able to get that ball into small areas within the... Right here, he's going to make a quick outside move, then come inside on Siegler, and that's a touchdown. You have to get inside the receiver on the goal line. That's why a lot of cornerbacks have a tough time in the NFL, because they're not going to play inside the receivers, and they're not big enough to play outside for the jump ball.
2:36 left. Scotland with 1 timeout as well, and the 2-minute warning. But first, they've got to get this ball.
They still have an opportunity. I remember 2 years ago we were playing the Meadowlands in the playoffs, and everyone had thought the Giants had won the ball game.
Everybody wrote you off.
We scored a touchdown, got an onside kick, go down again and score, and win the ball game.
Well, they send out Chris Dolan, the punter allocated here from the Chicago Bears. And he has had a superb year.
Not bad percentages.
What can Dolan do here? It gets the hop that they need. And Sellers is the man that's come up with it.
Play.
What a performance from Donald Sellers. A great kick, textbook stuff from Dolan. He got that hop, and Sellers rose above everybody else.
He plays this ball, it's like a jump ball in the NBA. You have to get it at its highest point. You know, that just shows the type of ability that Donald Sellers has.
This guy did his bit as well. That kick was textbook.
Great kick, you're wanting 2 bounces, and then the big bounce, and Sellers uses athletic ability. He wants the ball more than anybody else. That's why he's able to come down with it.
He just barged Greg Williams out of the way, number 36. And it means that the Claymores are still alive. 4 wide receivers out on first down. Craig, no pressure, looks in the direction of Michael Jenkins, who takes a huge hit from Malvo, but hangs on. At the 27. What a catch from Jenkins.
This is the same play that they ran last week with Jesse Haynes going up the sideline. They run this play with Michael Jenkins this time, and they're able to complete it. They're not able to get a touchdown, but they're able to make the big play to give them the opportunity to score the game and get the 2-point conversion to tie this thing up.
That is the 2-minute warning. The heat really on here in Amsterdam. The Admirals seem to have it locked up. Scotland had other ideas. We'll be back for the finish in a moment.
Welcome back to Amsterdam. Amsterdam leading 30-22 for Scotland. We have some great plays here. You're going to see Mr. Sellers here making the play. You can see him on the end of the line right there. He's eyeing it. You know, he has the best chance to catch it because he wants it more than the other.
Now, can Damien Craig punish him? Big John Kirksey was the first man there and is pointing at everybody. Did he jump or was he drawn? 2 plays left for Scotland to try and tie this thing up. The blitz comes. Craig gets rid of it and it's picked off, and it's Greg Williams. The Admirals 8-point victors, leading both teams with 4-6 records, a year in which both teams promised much but ultimately failed to deliver.